Perfect. We got PP up here on stage.
What's up, dude?
What's going on, man? Hey, I just wanted to start a random space. I was literally sitting there and I'm like, I'm going to start a space called The Power of Memes because I feel like memes are a real thing. I mean, bro, we've got a guy named PP McGee on stage. So, I feel like if anybody's going to understand this and resonate with this topic, it's going to be you. I've got zero planned agenda for this topic. If you're in the audience and you're expecting, massive amount, like a pure outline, an agenda for what we're going to talk through today, you're in the wrong space. I would leave right now, step down, step out of here, save yourself the time. It might be 2 or 3 hours worth of just, following our hearts instead of following a path. Sometimes that's what you have to do in this world. And I felt like it's only fitting, especially with the topic of the power of memes. So yeah, PP, how are you doing today, man? What is going on in your world? Appreciate having you back up here.
Always, man. Yeah, I'm actually working on a meme video right now while watching Blur Floors and defending meme NFTs. Uh, so yeah, the power of the meme is strong. I think that's one of the reasons I kind of got into Pudgy a long time ago. Was the meme game. Like everyone in there is just absolute geniuses, and so I hopped into Pudgy and started making memes. And when the new team took over, I came on as like their chief meme officer. And so we have like a group of meme makers, and I help them, and I do meme schools. So if you're a Pudgy Penguin holder, I do these things in Discord where I will teach you how to keyframe. I'll teach you how to edit, because my specialty is keyframe video editing. I'm good with photo memes too, but yeah, man, power memes is strong. Actually, speaking about it this year at NFT NYC about how important it is for, like, if you're starting a project, to find those people in your community who love your project so much that they're going to meme it. Finding those people and leaning into them is crucial to make it, because, like, honestly, we're selling pictures back and forth for thousands of dollars. That alone is a meme within itself. So you really, really need to see the power of memes, as you called your space, and lean into it.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I mean, like, again, I love that you hopped up here because, as you said, your resume is top notch as far as meme making abilities and meme generation. So if you have not checked out, this man has some fire videos that he puts out there. Not to say that he said, not to say those pictures aren't top notch, but I'm going to go ahead and give the nod to your videos over. If I had to pick one or the other as the form of content that you put out there, those videos, man. I mean, I can tell they they take a lot of work, but dude, they are worth it because they get me laughing every single time. Hey,
Yeah,
and with
thanks, man. I'm
yeah, of course, man. With that, also, we've got somebody else new up on stage who I would say has never been up on one of my spaces and one of the stages before, but I'd be lying because Frito last night, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Fredo Frito, I'm going to go with Frito, or FR, like three stack bars do, golf, one or the other. Came up on the space stage last night, you know, right before it wound down. And as I was about to kick it over to them, immediately stepped down. I don't know if it was an accident for the request. Maybe they fell asleep on the request button. I brought them up and then they freaked out about it. I've done that before. I'm not here to judge, but I am here to recognize that you were here once before. So this will be your first opportunity to actually speak. I'm going to hand it over to you again. And, hey, if you need to step down again, if this was an accident one more time, we all get it. This is about the power of memes. And if that's what your role in this space is, to basically whiff on every single punt, completely get it. But welcome up to the stage, Frito.
Let's fucking go. Yo, thank you for that shout out there. And it is funny that that's how you know me as. But no, that was actually completely an accident. Um I I don't even want to lie. I did not hear you call me. Sorry about that, Khalil. But I will say, thanks for bringing me up. I do love your content. Shout out Wonky Stonks. But look, the power of memes. I actually made a tweet maybe about a week or two ago, and I personally believe memes are the blue chip of the internet. And Khalil, I'll pin that up. Just give me an emoji if that's good to go. But yeah, I do think the power of memes is very strong, right? Like we could go back, look at Doge, look at Neon Cat or Nyan Cat, whatever you guys call it. There's just so many memes, right, that kind of transcend time, that they're funny no matter when you see them. And that's really the power of memes, especially here in the NFT world, which is where I'm really interested in, right? That's where most of my content kind of revolves around. Um, Projects with good memeing, those are, extremely strong projects. I mean, let's look at the Sappy Seals. Those are shit posters, almost a new variation of meme, right? Like the shit posting, kind of like a one-liner type memes. And then there's another project that I'll mention, the Smalls on Ethereum. If you guys are familiar with them, they have a very strong community where it's a pixelated Pepe, and they make memes with that, right? Like they buy the NFT, they hold it, and they make memes with it. And those are the types of memes that I think are great for the space. I'll keep it short, but Khalil, let me know if I could pin those tweets up, just to give you guys some references. And again, thank you for having me up. Excited to see where this space goes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this space goes as well. You're definitely welcome to pin it up there. I mean, if it's pure shit, then I'll remove it. But I'll give you the opportunity. We'll see. We'll see whether the memes match the quality. And hey, I'll even say this: if somehow it does not pass my test, I will leave it to the stage and to the audience as well. We'll throw up some emojis if I feel that it's questionable content, of whether to remove it or not. We'll get there. But in the meantime, you guys can check it out, see if it sparks anything for the conversation. I'm excited about it, one way or the other. All for adding topics to a completely topicless space. Again, entering into this, I literally was just sitting there on my couch. I just finished some movie. It was a good movie. I needed a break, slept in this morning. Realized I probably shouldn't keep doing these spaces till like 2 or 3 a.m. because it completely burns me out the next morning. So anyway, kind of took it easy today, recharged, refreshed, and I was like, I need to kick up a space. Now's a good time. What should the title of it be? NFTs and the power of memes. So here we are. Thank you for providing the content. Thank you for coming up here, because I really do feel that memes are at the center of the NFT landscape. I mean, they're a core part of it. But as you said, the power of memes didn't start with NFTs. I mean, look at Doge and look at Shiba Inu as perfect examples, right? Like, I feel like Doge especially really started to ramp up. I mean, heck, if you look at the timing of it, they're at the end of 2020, entering into 2021. That was before Top Shot really even came to be. And you look at the volume in the NFT market, Top Shot really wasn't even there. Punks were doing a little bit in the fall, but I mean, they weren't really doing too much yet. So again, power of memes has been around. It's been a thing. It's driven value for a long time. With that, I've also got somebody else new to one of the stages, but not new to our hearts, who has a meme name in and of itself, Mr. Fonky Donk. Fonky Donk, how is it going today?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing well. It's nice to actually hear your voice. I've been familiar with your work in Wonky Stonks for a long time, but it's been awesome to be part of groups with you now and Abba Show and all that stuff. But I love this topic. In fact, I was just doing a space last night. I do a space, weekly space called Keeping NFTs Weird with Pooh from EtherOrcs. And we talk about this stuff all the time. And the funny thing is, people in the audience may or may not know, but PP and I used to work together way back when at a show that kind of specialized in highlighting the early meme world called Attack of the Show. And, memes are something that, what's fascinating to me about memes, there's a couple things. One, I think they've become the language of the internet, right? And what's interesting is that there's new languages that pop up all the time. And each one, you have to kind of know the specific language of and how to use it and what makes sense. And then two, I think with NFTs specifically, there's two different things here. One is like communities like penguins or like pudgies or anything that could like kind of tap into the power of it's really interesting. But then there are also projects that launch entirely out of memes or by memes, and those are really interesting because like sometimes they'll hit the timing perfectly. They'll shoot right up, and then the meme dies out super fast, right? It's like a living being. Like it kind of comes and goes. It's definitely like an organism. Like I think of it like is something feeding the meme? How big is this meme going to get? How many people are doing it? How many people are tweeting it? Like it's all super interesting to me to watch the, I guess I call it the life cycle of a meme, right? Because you know, after a while, if you post older memes, people are like, "Oh, that's you're behind the times. You need to figure out what the next thing is." It's a super interesting time.
Oh, first off, I think it's really interesting that you and PP did work together in real life outside of this. Love that. One quick aside before we dive into the rest of what you said, because it's all great. I just don't want to forget this. Who brought who into the crypto Twitter space, or did y'all randomly stumble across each other and then you were like, oh, shoot, like I actually know you?
It's the funniest story. I don't know, PP. I think this is what happened. You can tell, but I think weirdly, I think I started following PP. So I got into the NFT space in January of 2021 originally because my friend Brian Brinkman, who I also used to work with, very quickly, backstory about me. I worked at Attack the Show, and then I worked at the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show for a long time. I am doxxed now. I doxxed myself about 2 weeks ago, but I was undoxxed for about a year and a half. So Brian Brinkman, the Art Blocks artist, the very awesome, you know, very cool NFT artist, was originally my graphics artist at Fallon. So he got me into NFTs. And then I think PP was, I don't think I knew who you were when I followed the PP account, right? Didn't we have
No,
like,
you
yeah,
didn't.
yeah, it was the weirdest
It's
thing.
so it's pretty funny. Like that is the definition of power of the memes. Because like Fonky used to be like the executive producer of the show I interned for, and like we've known each other for shoot, good lord, this is gonna probably.
Yeah,
Um,
it's crazy.
Yeah, and so he was following my PP account from his doxed account, and I was following his Fonky account from PP, and then I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, I think we know each other," and so yeah, that's kind of how it's memes brought us together, and so that's how important memes are in Web3. You know, it's like long lost friends who haven't seen each other since 2008 are now friends on Web3 because of memes.
Dude, that's amazing. Love the story. Funky, I heard you had something else you want to add to it.
Oh no, I mean, I think the interesting thing is just that I feel like it's a perfect example of what P was just saying is that like I've met so many. The reason I wanted to start off undoxed in the space that I wanted to be a non was I wanted to see what it would be like to try to create kind of a not a new persona, like it was still going to be me, but like to be to start from scratch because I was lucky enough to get on Twitter in like 2008, 2007. Like I'm very old for this space, but so I've got my docs handle has like 30,000 followers, and I was like, I think I'm going to try starting over. And like one of the coolest things about doing that was like building up a following and people who you follow from scratch, and you kind of get to know the people. And it was just one of those things where like PP was one of the people I followed from my docs account, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to follow this person from my new account as well. And it just kind of grew from there. So yeah, it was very funny. PP, by the way, also responsible for getting me into Pudgies pretty recently. But I have to shout out the Pudgies community and all the stuff Pudgies are doing because I think they're pretty awesome, and I'm a big fan of like what Luca's doing in general. So I think that's an awesome community as well.
Yeah, I would agree with you completely there. Funny thing is, if it weren't for the Pudgies, I probably wouldn't have ever crossed paths with PP. So again, thankful for that. A little bit of the opposite at hand there, but still similar, something along the Web3 lines that, led to some type of connection that honestly in another bear market probably wouldn't have been there, in the one without NFTs. So thankful for the evolution of the space. Something I want out of everybody that's listening in here, I like if this is going to be NFTs and the power of memes, I want to post some fire ass memes up at the top of this thread. Of this space. So share your favorite memes in the comment. Just click that little purple bubble there in the corner. We'll go through that and we will add up some of those memes as we see them. And, hey, we might even talk through some of them, but, we'll show love where it is due. Drop some of the good memes that have, either impacted, resonated with you, whatever it is. I want to hear it because, again, we've got 0 topics lined out for this space. We are shooting from the hip here. And anything that you add as far as potential, for NF, like, I don't know. I think there's just so many places that we can go with this. I'm open to whatever you guys put out there. With that, let me go ahead and kick it over to Eloc. Eloc, thank you for joining. How are you doing today? Love the gazer, by the way, on your Pengu.
Thanks. I'm doing good. So memes, I love the memes in Bitcoin. Last bear market kind of just stuck to the center with Bitcoin, and then did DeFi. And then I saw the NFTs, I was like, oh, these are all Ponzi's, you got to get the right one. Apes seem legit. And then I saw the penguins, but it took over my timeline, the memes, and I okay, I'm buying the top here. I shouldn't, but I need a penguin for my identity, because I had the laser eyes at one point, which was cool and all, but just digital identity of the penguin. And then I don't know, I saw that one video with, who made that video where it was that video game and it had Kobe in it. That shit was so funny. And then so I'd done video production PP a while back, and I'd kind of gotten out of phase of that, but I started making memes again. So it was really fun because I got to be creative, and it was not very artistic, but just enough to get an idea out and use Photoshop. So I started doing a lot of memes for penguins, did some for chubby friends, stuff like that. But yeah, I think memes are super powerful, and NFTs are way better at it than broader crypto Twitter. And I just have such a blast. And when we got in the Basho, we would at the beginning we came up with no Basho for everyone else, and then a Basho. And so I just started making a ton of memes. And then I remember seeing the floor price move up a bit from the memes I made. This is so hilarious that I'm changing the floor price with stupid memes. It's
But I mean, it does happen though, right? Because if you think about it, this is an attention-based economy. And what do people want to see? They want to get on the timeline. They want to see funny shit. It's that simple, right? Whenever you're getting on the phone, whenever you're doing something like that, whenever you're scrolling through the timeline, as much as we all love the threaders, not everybody loves reading through the threads, right? So, there's a time and there's a place for that. And again, I say that as somebody that does drop more threads than I do memes. So, I'm hate on myself there with that one, but I understand the audience, right? I understand what drives, what's powerful in this space. And you even look at it, I think it's important to note, and we can't really have this conversation without doing it. But look at, if I think he's no longer the wealthiest, but the man formerly known as the wealthiest man in the world, Elon Musk, the artist formerly known as the wealthiest man in the world, Elon Musk. What is one of his signatures? It is the memes that he posts. That's what he does online. That's what's polarized him, in a sense, from so many people, are the memes that he's posted. But it's still the way that he communicates. And I feel if you're doing it, if it's happening at that level, I mean, you see the power for what happened with it. I mean, just look at Doge, right? Doge, I don't think would have ever happened. There's a reason why Elon picked it, because he thought it was funny, right? So, what else was there that was truly driving the value of Doge? It was the memeable aspect. DOG, welcome up to the stage. How are you doing today? Would love to hear your thoughts on this topic.
I'm going to be honest. I'm at work, and I was doing some work, and I completely missed the topic. What are we talking about?
The power of memes. Your response in and of itself is a meme. So thank you. You played into the topic perfectly.
I appreciate that. I love memes, dude. They power so many things, and
half the time they go to zero, but if they don't, like they build the strongest communities, and that's undeniable.
I agree with that. And I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I don't know whether I'm going to do it or not yet. We'll see. I'm tempted though for this space to either give away a Wonky Stonks or B a feet pics, do basically a tweet out about the space and get it rolling. I don't know. I guess either could be appropriate. Question is, what do I want to part with? Like, number one, I don't know if I want, like, as much as I love the meme of the feet pics, I'm kind of done sharing pictures of the feet pics itself. It just, as funny as the meme is, I'm not going to let myself get tagged. It's not safe for work again. But, the Wonky Stonks in and of themselves, like, a lot of people don't give them credit for being memes, but I still think it's a meme that, the JPEG of a stonk, of the picture of the price action and everything else happening with it, with the generative art, is a meme, right? Like, when you're talking about collecting JPEGs of the stonk and the price action rather than any real stonks themselves, I think that's like, there is memeability in and of itself that's built into that. Even it's not the traditional, the traditional framework of a meme, it is the concept behind it that turns it into a meme. So I'm curious, what do you guys think truly constitutes a meme? What doesn't? Is it all about perception, or is there a critical standard for what qualifies and what doesn't? Dog, you've got your hand up.
I think one thing that like really plays into it. Oh, you can hear my alarm going off. 1 second. One thing that really plays into it is like having something that's repeatable. So like with the sappy seals, you had everyone commenting like buy a seal coward. The pudgy penguins early in the day, you had I am my penguin, my penguin is me. Now with Wonky Stonks, we're always saying Wonky Stonks are inevitable. So you just need like something that is repeatable, that someone's like, I like this community, I want in.
I like that. Funky Dunk, what you got?
My other thing about memes is I think, and maybe I mentioned this earlier, is I think it has to do with momentum, right? Like how is it taking off, right? Like there's a lot about it is like, what is the image, what is the phrasing, what is the thing, and where is it at in its momentum cycle? Like I think weirdly it's a lot like either a stock or an NFT price, right? Like you can see memes that take off and they go crazy and then they crash really fast because they were maybe just they flamed out too fast. Or there's some that just stay and they go up and they stick around and they're the meme floor price holds. Like it's really interesting to look at memes as they first start and see like where they kind of begin at and watch like the spread of them too, right? Like obviously everything that's tied into memes is virality is tied in as well and how quickly it spreads. But sometimes like the best memes are ones that spread a little bit more slowly and are like kind of inside jokes and then spread out. And then, the other thing that's always great, and I'm sure every community has this, is there are some memes that like no one outside of the community will get, but will always be super meaningful to the community itself. Like I'm a pretty big part of the anonymized community, and there's one of our members there who brought his girlfriend onto a space once, and her name was Judy. And so like Judy just became like this incredible meme within our community where like she came on and I can't remember what she said, but it just became like this thing where we went so far as in the Discord to create a bot that could when you mentioned Judy, it would pop up with stuff. So like I think there's different kinds of memes, but to me a big part of it is how fast do they take off, why do they take off, and what does their life cycle look like?
I love it, man. Kick it over to Ox Karate real quick, then we'll go to Goody and then PP.
What's up? Yeah, I love that that inside joke kind of take that Fonky has. But I also think like a really good meme is also like hated by a good amount of people. I think a lot of the hate kind of fuels like this longevity of a meme. When people don't quite understand it, they're telling you like that's dumb and move on. This the more you have hate, I feel the longevity of that meme will just last way longer. It won't die as quickly. So I think that's part of having a good meme is actually having some hate behind it.
I do agree that with that take, right? Like, there's got to be something with a meme that really drives a reaction out of a certain group, because in a sense, the meme in and of itself, like, you got to have thick skin if you're certain, because everything can turn into a meme. I'm a true believer of that, right? Like, it is about the situation, it's about the context, it's about the momentum, but everybody can fall victim to becoming a meme at one point or another. So, like you said, there are going to be some people that just never have learned how to take a joke in their lives that are going to be offended by that. So, yeah, like, it does have to evoke some type of reaction from somebody, because otherwise it's not really funny, right? I'm going to kick it over to Goody now. Goody, what you got?
Yeah, what's goody? I was just like to add to that, like mimetic culture is something that transcends, art and NFTs and all that kind of stuff. It's something that's been around for a long time. And like if you look at like you can look and point at a lot of like meme famous people that over the years we like know who they are and even track their lives at this point based on like one time them being a meme. You talk about like the angry cat or the girl that was making the face or this or that. And so when you get those things and then combine the ability to make money off of like mimetic culture, and I'll reference it because it minted today, like Hasbullah, like how many memes are there about that guy? And the meme culture is kind of what drives it, because it's not only transcends art but transcends language. Like you can kind of interact with a meme no matter what language you speak. So I think it's one of the things that's going to keep being a meta of all of this, because we all love memes and it's all easy to get behind no matter where you are from or what language you speak or all that kind of shit too.
Bro, hey, I will say, Goody, the one thing that I'm a little bit disappointed that you didn't have in your commentary there was the "What's Goody" song. Like, I was really looking forward to that.
Fuck. My girlfriend
I'm
is
putting you on the
no,
spot there. Putting you on the spot.
my girlfriend's in the office. She's taking an actual work call right now, so I let her wire into my sound system while she does that.
Oh,
I was like cringing as I came off mic, not being able to do it, dude. I know.
okay. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, friends hold friends accountable, and I gotta, keep you in check with that one. PP, what you got?
Yeah, one thing I want to touch on was Funky brought up earlier is, like some of these things are popular for a short time and they fizzle out and die. I think what he was kind of referring to, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the floor price or the price action. Honestly, like if you want to find memes that are lasting, find communities and find meme makers that keep making and putting out memes regardless of the floor price. Because you look back at Penguins, like all that we went through, like our community was still like thriving strong. Like even like when we had like the worst times ever before Luca took over, like community was still strong. They were still outputting memes. So yeah, don't let the floor price fool you. Like if there's life, there's life, and I think that's what memes are. Is just a sign of life and a sign of culture. Goody said it best.
I think you need to have a sense of humor to be a good NFT trader too, to be honest. A lot of people just don't get jokes for whatever reason.
Yeah, and one thing I'll point out too, what Karate said. A lot of times that memes are hated. One thing I've always done, and I'm not going to do it this cycle, is I've always faded FUD. And this cycle, I'm not fading FUD. If something's getting FUDed hard, I'm at least going to have some sort of exposure to it, because oftentimes like their angriness like on the timeline is fueling the fire. You saw it with feet pics. I'm not going to shill feet pics here because I think I talked about when they're at like 0.01 ETH, but being like 0.14 ETH is a little crazy. But that's one of the things like people can't stop talking about. And like honestly, don't fade FUD. That's my advice.
Yo, bro, just quickly, please tell me that you're practicing practicing your handles right now, sharpening up, like.
Yeah, no. So my 5-year-old just started basketball practice, and
Okay.
so like I'm out here on the courts with him, shooting
Oh,
and
I
talking
love
to
it,
you.
man, bro. I have been spending so much time just on cases, doing anything else. in pursuit of the hustle that I haven't gotten myself to play any basketball recently. I need to get back to it. So shout out to you for being out there with the sun, though. Family above everything else. Eloc, you got your hand up. What's going on?
Yeah, it just reminded me of like the Sunium days. Like back when like the old team would like say, hey, something for Penguins. They were like, oh, the stuff's coming out soon. So then like we started like Sunium. So I like drew up like the Hopium bottle with Sunium on it. And then like between when like Luca was buying the Penguins and like we basically had no team. So it was like 3 months of just like the huddle just vibing with like no team. And like I made a website so like everyone could like get Sunium on their Penguin. And then like you just go into the Discord and like people are like, did we get bought yet? We're like, no, Sunium. And so like the meme of just like waiting around like with Sunium kind of like gave us power to just like be patient and like wait for Luca to buy the company. So like we all just like didn't give a shit. We just fucked off and like inhaled Sunium for like 5 months.
Sorry, I was just posting out something. And this goes for anybody that's in the audience real quick. I am going to go ahead and give away a Wonky Stonk. Why not? So we're going to do that during this space. Here are the rules for the Stonk giveaway. Basically, just like and retweet, actively be listening to the space, and post your best memes in the comments. And we're going to go through that at a certain point and select maybe a final like two. And I think that we'll have a vote off for the final two in the audience for what the best meme of this space is. No criteria on it whatsoever right now, but I feel like it'll be a fun way to be able to engage, get everybody plugged in. So
Our co-host disqualified? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, hey, if you wanna throw yourself into the mix,
I'm at the courts, man. I can't meme right now.
But yeah, opportunity to win a stonk, opportunity to have a little bit of fun in the process. So make sure to like, retweet, get in here, and make your best memes. And at a certain point, we'll go through there and we'll give away that stonk to somebody here in the space. But why not for the culture?
Not just one.
So, all right. Yeah, the contest is officially over. I just checked the memes. Rooster did actually win. Congratulations, Rooster. No, I'm just messing. No, definitely going longer. And I'm going to give Rooster's odds of winning about 0%. But I mean, it's not a bad meme. I'm just going to give you 0% because I'm pretty sure you stole that from Megatan too.
Oh, these have to be like we created them?
Well, I mean, okay, they don't. Just share whatever the hell you want. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. There's no, that's the best part about doing something like this is you kind of can make up the criteria. So, but Rooster is disqualified.
So one thing I'll point out too, Cleo, is like power of the meme. I think if you want to be successful, extends past Web3 and crypto. So like, even if you're not into crypto, you know about Dogecoin, right? Because people have talked about it. It's been on SNL. And so one thing I think Pudgy's doing really well is you look at our Giphy. And people who are not even familiar with Pudgy are using our GIFs like on a daily basis. And that's huge to me. We even had like a sitting U.S. senator use a Pudgy Penguins GIF. That's like mimetic culture.
Oh, I agree with you, man. Karate, what you got?
It's crazy you say that because the other day I was with a buddy and he nudged me and goes, dude, why is it that every single GIF that I search to text people is a freaking Pudgy Penguin? And I use them. I use them all day, every day. I send them to people at work. I send them to people, my parents all the time because they work. And he loves it, He doesn't even have any Pudgy Penguins.
I mean, but it does show you the power, the potential. It's the same thing with the Chubbyverse friends, honestly. Like why I think the Chubbyverse friends have potential. you look at just how visible they are with some of their memes. You know, whenever you're searching Jiffy, same type of thing. You know, they don't have quite as many views as the Pudgies, but they're up there, right? And views equals visibility equals brand recognition equals traction.
I think they have more. And like, shout out to the
Yeah, they were
Chubbyverse
the OG,
because they
yeah,
were the
they were
ones.
the OG like GIF makers. Like we're not gonna lie, like we talked about it at NFT NYC. I don't know if you guys like did it earlier, but I was like, why aren't we doing this? You know, like it's the perfect way to get exposure.
So
Yeah, man.
Funky,
Oh, go ahead,
uh,
Eli.
you were saying like the different levels of like memes. So like, what's like the gold standard of like blue chip meme? Because like I love like crypto memes, but I also have like a soft spot for like prequel Star Wars memes, and sometimes I roll over to prequel Reddit. And like when they had that like Padme Anakin like meme template, and that like blew up broader, I was like, oh fuck yeah, like the prequel memes Reddit like hit like the major league because like they have a meme template that like everyone's using now. So
I
like
think that's totally true. My thing is like if you see people starting to use memes, I mean that's the dream I think of anybody that makes a meme, right? Is to see a meme get added to the meme, image generator site or something like that. Like the I think the probably the one that to me seems like it got the biggest and broadest in the last 3 to 5 years was the distracted girlfriend meme, only because like it could be used in so many different instances, and it was remarkable to see how it could be used. That's one of the other things about memes that I think is really interesting is that every community, whether you're in crypto, NFTs, or in whatever, maybe you're a sports person or maybe you're into Barbies, I don't know, but like everybody can create with a template. They can create a joke for their culture, and that's a really cool thing, right? The distracted girlfriend thing was so big, it was just getting mainstream coverage all over the place. And the meme has gotten successful when the people in the meme become famous. Like Harold. Harold's another one that like I love. And at the beginning, Harold like was just this kind of very small, tiny little meme that blew up because the guy is charming. You know what I mean? Like
Bro,
you're
what is
you're
Harold?
charmed by him. Harold, Haraold. That he's the guy that's got like he's weirdly an old white man with a beard. But he's the guy who looks like he's always kind of in pain in some ways. Like he always looks like he's hurting, but he's trying to smile through it. Like it's a really amazing meme because it just perfectly personifies how you have to do stuff all the time that you may not like, and you're stuck doing it. So to me, that's like one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, and I think the anytime you can find a meme that like you can like tie to like everyday situations, it's odds are it's gonna be a successful meme. Like the Chris Rock slap from Will Smith. Like right when that happened, everyone was like memeing it like left and right, and like our good buddy Iceberg, he said, "I'm so tired of this," and so what did I do? I made a Chris Rock getting slapped meme, and Chris Rock was Icebergy, and then Will Smith was actually the meme itself. So it was like super meta. So like you saw the meme as a whole, and then I put Icebergy's profile picture on Chris Rock, and then Will Smith was just like a smaller version of the meme. So I think stuff like that, where it just kind of takes over your timeline, it's just so funny.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can think of countless ones. Like you said, the Chris Rock one, whenever it popped up with the Will Smith thing, like, dude, those were everywhere. And I mean, that's the thing, though. There's some memes I feel like that have shelf lives, some don't. Like, do you guys remember? Like, there were two memes that I think back in my college days were incredibly popular that I don't see around anymore. One of them was that baby that makes the fist, right? Like, and then the other was that Brian kid
Bad
that,
luck, Brian.
was kind of the
Bad
nerdy.
luck, Brian.
Yeah.
Dude, Scumbag Steve was the best one. Scumbag Steve was one of the best. And like everyone knows the Scumbag Steve. That's why it's so funny. It's relatable.
So I think this is correct, but I think Bad Luck Brian, like that actually came out as an NFT, and the guy, like Brian himself, like sold it, and then immediately turned around, like the buyer sold it for like 100x. So like the meme lived throughout the secondary sale.
And I think Scumbag Steve is doing cameos or was doing cameos for a while. So if you really love Scumbag Steve, you
You know,
can go get a
somebody post
cameo meme.
Scumbag Steve up there. I have no idea who Scumbag Steve
Oh
is.
yeah,
Like
you
that.
do. You'll know.
No, I don't. No, no, no.
It's
Here's the
got
thing.
like
No,
a
you'll recognize him, I bet. You'll
Okay,
recognize
I
him.
might recognize it, but if anything, this space may turn into an educational space for myself because I feel like, especially within NFTs where you see meme culture drive so much value, recognizing memes to also be able to recognize potential that are in certain projects, it's important. So, I'm fine with turning this into a history lesson if we have to.
I have a really good one that actually goes all the way back to my Attack of the Show days. That this is for the old people, and maybe a lot of young people don't know it. There was a guy named Tazon Day, and he had a song that was called "Chocolate Rain." That was really one of the first big internet sharing memes. If you're not familiar with it, Google it. I think the YouTube video has like 100 million plus views now. But
yeah.
I remember when this came out, and it was like remarkably fast spreading for especially for what the internet was at the time. But he became this video made Tazon Day into like an internet fixture for a while. Like he was booking like I Love the Internet TV shows off of it for years. So that's a good one. That's a good history one.
Well, but bro, Tazon, not only that, like that's a good one to bring up. He still pops up in a bunch of NFT spaces. I remember I was on stage with him one time. And bro, I haven't fangirled over too many people, and I don't know what he's doing in this space. Maybe he's a grifter, maybe he's legitimately interested. I'm not sure, but I kind of fangirled there. I asked him for a rendition of Chocolate Rain live, and he gave like one line out of it. And bro, I had chills because it took me back to that freshman sophomore year of high school time frame whenever that first came out. And yeah, man, I mean, it just there's so many of those that are transcendent that people are able to establish and create their whole careers on whatever meme that they end up finding success from. Like, bro, I saw a video the other day of the Charlie Bit My Finger kid from YouTube. And like
The guy's
apparently
like
that
40
guy
now,
owns
right?
I don't know how old he is. I think he's a lot he's a lot younger than 40. I think he's like 18 or something. The kid owns a yacht from his
Oh my
from the
god,
Charlie Bit My
that's
Finger.
incredible.
So I think, Funky, one of my things on the resume, like for like my reel that I sent in to get on Attack of the Show, was I made a meme of the I Like Turtles kid, and it was him being interviewed by Bill O'Reilly. And so that was like one of my first internet memes, was basically taking that and turning it into a derivative. So
Yeah, Funky, it's funny you mentioned that Attack of the Show because I remember specifically like that episode and like Attack of the Show, like with the chocolate rain.
Oh, do you really? That's amazing. Yeah, I remember that guy was like, I mean, we ate it up for like at least a full week, I think. We did all sorts of fascinating things. Like my favorite line in that is always where he leans away to take a breath. It's like the weirdest fucking thing
it
in the world.
captions it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Some stay dry and others feel the pain. Chocolate rain.
All right, hey, I've got something for the people on stage. So if we're giving away the Wonky Stonk to somebody in the audience because I'm lazy as heck and I want good quality memes up here on the top of the feed, here's something that y'all can do being on stage. You can help go through all the different submissions and you can pin them up for me. And whoever picking that is for this I will give one of y'all a fresh feet pics from my wallet, helping in doing that. So, but the thing is, you gotta pin them up there. You have the quality submissions because it's not even the submission that ends up winning, and like even looking for whoever that person is. So yeah,
And just like
adding
that, we have a bunch of
little bit of spice to the game.
just like that, we have a
Just
bunch of
like
requests to come on stage.
exactly. Immediately, everybody's requesting on stage, and I don't care. I need good quality speakers. Like it's, our memes are real, and we're gonna get to practice. We're gonna chuck up a couple memes of themselves to get this going. And the funny thing is, with that, Rooster actually stepped down and left. I feel like he caught the pressure of it and just left the space completely. Or am I rugged right now?
Guys,
I see
no.
Godfather
I thought
connected
I
for
don't
about
want to
10
talk.
minutes and nobody else talking. Can people hear me?
Yeah, you were cutting up there for a few minutes, but you're back now.
Oh God, no!
Yeah, I
Here,
didn't catch like all of it.
I don't know if it's
It sounds
me,
like you got
but
rugged.
yeah, I'm hearing hella.
now, what
Okay,
about
that's
now? Are
way
we
better.
good?
Yeah, you're back.
Bro,
You're back.
you know what the issue was? I forgot that I didn't have my Wi-Fi connected.
That would have been a
I
perfect
think you
opportunity.
muted yourself.
That would have been a perfect
Dude,
opportunity
I
to
keep
end the
muting
space.
myself too. What in the world am I doing here, man? I'm fumbling the dang bag here. But okay, did y'all hear about
Hey,
the rules of the feet
no,
picks?
we need a TLDR.
Did you
We
see
need a
the
TLDR.
song like that just came out? Biddy Bag's got a feet pick song from the Song a Day guy. Just when we thought it was over.
No.
I just pinned it. I just scroll to the left. I just pinned it up there. Dude, this is never gonna end. We're never gonna hear the end of this, dog. I can't bend my knee. We're stuck with the feet picks. This is insane.
Speaking of meme makers and history with Funky Donk, Song of Day Man actually has history with Funky Donk too.
Song a Day Man was actually my intern as well at G4 at one point. So there's a lot of deep connections here. Jonathan and Jonathan was a pretty early intern, I think way before UPP, but he was an intern back like when, way before Attack the Show, I was at G4 and I produced a really bad news show called Pulse, which was a video game news show when I was just a wee kid. And Jonathan was my intern there. So yeah, my NFT connections still go deep. But I got to watch this feet pick song now. I can't believe Jonathan pulled this off. But it is what it is.
Actually,
you know?
PP, can you play it like via? No, you're not near it. Dang it,
Dude, I can play this. Dude, it makes so much sense though, Funky. Like, people from Attack of the Show, like being in Web3 meme culture, because that's essentially what the show was before, like even crypto, like even Bitcoin existed.
Yep. By the way, here I can play it if you guys. I'm at a computer. If you want to hear it, I can maybe play it, Kaleo.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Let's
Okay.
hear it real quick.
Let's see. Hopefully it'll sound okay. Oh wait, shit. You know what? Hold on. Let me see. I'm on my headphones, so I gotta pull off here 1 second.
No big deal, man. We'll get it pulled up whenever we get it pulled up. Like, I remember, what was the one that he did? He did one recently that I actually really liked. I think Yuga paid him for something, or was it? No, was it Ethereum that paid him for something for the merge? It was the merge song. Like, there were a lot of people that gave his merge song shit. I actually thought that it was pretty catchy, bro. Like, I sat there and listened to it a few times as I was watching ETH tanking.
Also, his Penguin song got us through like the hard time.
We had him on as a guest for chilling, and just hearing some of his stories was incredible. Like, he did, like, there's like an iPhone thing that happened back in, I think, 2014, and it was like antenna gate. I don't know if you remember that, but like the phone would like cut off your like phone call if you held the phone a certain way. And so Jonathan like made a song about it, and I think Steve Jobs like liked it so much that like he played it like an Apple conference. And so he gets like a phone call, and he's in the shower, and it says it's from Apple, and he's like, okay, I'll answer it. And it's like, hey, Steve wants to know like what you want for the song. And he's like, whatever. And so like he just told him like, I wanted an iPad. And so like like he made this killer song, and all he asked for was an iPad, which I think is hilarious.
Dude, that's amazing. You love to hear Funky. You got it?
I got it. I will tell you, I think it's a song, even though it was suggested about feet, it is a song about feet, not about feet picks. So I'll play it. It's 1:45, so I'll keep an eye on the
No,
phone
it's
if
about
anybody.
feet. I think it's about feet picks though, because it's for Biddy Bags, and she has a lot of feet too. So
yeah. So it still is. Okay, here we go.
26 bones, 33 joints, more than 100 muscles.
hooded navicular freak uniform bone. The human foot did not evolve from the chimpanzee foot, and shoes have changed the way we walk. 26 bones, 33 joints, more than 100 muscles and tendons and ligaments.
I wonder if he uses ChatGPT now.
Yeah, there's the feet. It's the feet.
Like I'm hearing some of the words he's dropping. I'm like, okay, I guess he easily could have gone to Google for them, but I wonder, do you think now the song at like how many of these song a days do you think he's using ChatGPT for?
I don't know. I know Jonathan. I think he actually is. I think he's writing a lot of these things. One of the things that's really cool about what he does is that, like, it's actually a real move to try to be creative every day. I don't think he is, but you never know. It's a tool. People can use it. And you can do it. He's been doing it forever.
Bro, I won't lie. If I were stuck on a verse, I would sit there and drop it and say, hey, here's what I got. What's a good line next? Like, give me something good here, please, Lord.
Well, sometimes he'll read like white papers like verbatim, which are like really dry.
I guess you got to do what you got to do. If you got to do a song every day, you've bought into this idea. There's some days you're just going to want to read a white paper.
Well, bro, I respect his hustle because I mean it's the same thing that I said I'm doing with the songs. Basically, a space slash multiple spaces every single day until it sends past a new all-time high. So, like, sometimes you have to have something drive you, some type of hustle. Maybe it's not quite as creative as writing a song every day, but hey, man, I mean, sometimes coming up with different topics, whatever else, it's not as easy as it seems.
That was always the best thing, I will say. So I worked at the Attack the Show for like 4 years, I guess, and I worked at the Tonight Show and Late Night for about 8. And one of the things I miss about making TV every day or just making comedy every day is there's a real thing, and this kind of goes to meme culture too. I think there's a real thing that if you have to turn something out, no matter what, you have to do it. You produce something, and you don't sit there and stew over it forever. I think that like trying to make stuff every day in some form or another really makes a big difference. And with memes, I think it's a good example. I've been trying to make a few more memes, very specific, very topical memes lately. And if you just get into the habit of just like doing it and pushing it out, doing it and pushing it out, doing and pushing it out, even if they're not all the most perfect memes in the world, you get way better at it really fast. And I think that's like a key, not just to this stuff, but like kind of to everything. Like, don't get too precious and just like make things as much as you possibly can.
Love it, man. I mean, hey, another thing too, just in general on that topic, it's like I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday. It was just about the topic of action, right? Like so many people make goals and they talk about things that they need to do, and they've got things weighing on them that they should do. But you can just sit there and push them off. And a lot of people wait for significant events like New Year's, right? Because they're like, okay, well, this is a reset, or they wait for their birthday, or they're forced into some tragic situation where, for one reason or another, their back is against the wall and they're forced to make a change. But you know what? Like, I was just sitting there, and like something that's been weighing on me for a long time is like ministry used to be a huge part of my life, right? Like I loved spending time, like, basically mentoring high school kids, working with Young Life, doing that type of stuff. And over the past couple of years, I just haven't done it. And I was just sitting there last night and I was like, you know what? Eff it. Like it's been since the pandemic that I haven't done anything with this. And I've got no excuse. I've got more free time than I've ever had. So like texted the old area leader that I know and, just said, hey, like I want to go ahead, step up, sign up and do this again. Right. Because like there are things that, again, like I have felt that conviction for the past couple of years, but, actually going out there and doing it is something completely different. And like, I feel like the excuses that you make up in the process are, oh man, well, I don't have the time for it. Like I'd rather do X, Y, Z. But man, like whatever it is in life, I mean, again, like if there's something that you need to do, it feels way better to just sit, freaking do it, right? Like, and I don't know, yeah, like when it comes to creativity, when it comes to ideas, dreams, goals, man, freaking like don't just talk about it, do it.
Kaleo's now selling Nikes. with this new hashtag, just do it. No, I'm totally with you, dude. Like, if you sit on an idea for too long, then it just stays an idea, right?
Yeah, I recently put some stuff out, and I was just so in my head about it, and finally, like, just massive amount of people were just like, "Dude, just do it. Like, you're ready. Just do it." And I did, and it was been nice. It's like a kind of a relief. Like I should have done it a long time ago, but just excited to push forward and continue. So it's good to just do it.
JD, welcome up to the stage. I think one of your first times up here. How is it going? Your bio says Reddit avatars collector. So, I mean, if you're from the Reddit background, you're all about meme culture. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Yeah, it's my first time in this space. I'm really liking it. I'm pretty new to crypto Twitter, so I'm always on the lookout for new spaces because I'm vibing with it. I'm enjoying it so much. But I wanted to touch on something. I didn't hear it so far. Maybe somebody else mentioned it earlier. Memes are such a good way to connect with people and to connect with people across like languages, across platforms, because that's what, a lot of people from Reddit came onto Twitter, and it was really weird, really scary, really unfamiliar. And memes are one of the ways that made it all so much more fun, so much more familiar. Because everybody can laugh at memes. Like I was posting and resharing these crypto memes about taking losses and shit like that. Because everybody can relate to that. You don't need to know Twitter or Reddit or whatever. And that's one of the powers of memes. I think that it's so good at connecting people and bringing people together. And it's honestly one of my favorite things of any social media platform, or maybe even the internet in general these days.
So tell me, who does it better, Reddit or Twitter?
I'm gonna make enemies. I can't make enemies like that. That's too difficult. I think.
No. Here's the deal. I think that it's way more respectable to have an opinion and be able to share that opinion than it is to, try to appease both sides, right? If you always try to appease everyone, then, you're never going to please anyone, right? Like, just be yourself. I think authenticity speaks louder than anything else.
All right, so I'm still going to give you a kind of a politically correct answer, but it's truthful. It's different. Like Twitter is better at the raw memes, emotional memes, the memes that just feel like you just found them. Like, I don't know, the fresh memes, you just pluck them off of the meme tree, right? It's just better at that kind of vibe, I feel. Reddit has this different kind of taste. They like more, either more shitposty or more polished memes that are, are beaten to death, some other people will call it. Reddit really likes to overdo things, and it's enjoyable, but it's different. So that's the difference between the two platforms, and I enjoy both of them.
And hey, by the way, if y'all want to just keep the conversation going, don't worry about the hands. I mean, if it gets out of control, I'll re-implement that. But yeah, if you've got something to comment on what somebody else says, feel free to go ahead and chime in.
So one thing I'll comment on JD's point is I used to be a huge Reddit user, and I would say that Reddit's more of a curated experience when it comes to conversation flow, new memes, because oftentimes when you go to these subreddits, it's like you see the hot posts. You don't see the new posts. You have to go to the new posts if you want to see everything. But the default view is always like hot topics. So a lot of times new posts will get buried if people find them like, demeaning, or if people find them offensive or something like that. Or a lot of times they won't even be seen. So it's more of like a curated experience brought to you by people who are like so hardcore in the community that they're going to go to that new post and uptick it, because if it gets downvoted, a lot of times people aren't going to see it. You don't have that on Twitter.
Yeah, it's definitely true. I also moderate like a few big subreddits. One of the main issues, or I don't know if it's an issue, but what you'll see is that somebody will post something that's really funny. That's just, funny, enjoyable. It gets to the front page. It gets lots of views. And then for the next fucking 2 weeks, people would just keep posting derivatives of it and copies of it. And then like somebody will post like, look at this weird, grocery shopping list or whatever I got. And then for the next 2 weeks, you'll get loads and loads of those kinds of posts, and they all get upvoted. I don't know, people like them, but at the same time, they will get dozens of reports of people being like, it's a repost, it's boring, delete this shit. It's so difficult. It's such a fickle mistress, like the Reddit hive mind.
I feel that, man. It's got to be tough. I mean, it's a little bit similar with Twitter, but the difference is, I mean, you've got your likes, you've got your retweets to get everything, but like I feel like in Reddit you can be silenced a lot easier than you can be with Twitter, unless Twitter decides to search ban and shadow ban you for posting feet pics. That in that case, like I think that Reddit might have a little bit of an advantage because I don't think that they do that strictly to accounts.
Yeah, it's true. It's such a different experience, right? Because you have these different subreddits which all have their own rules. So in a way, Reddit doesn't tend to ban people, easily. You don't really get silenced by Reddit itself, but you will get silenced by moderators on different subreddits that have their own little rules. And if you don't like it, you can make your own subreddit, and lots of people do that. So you get all these small little ecosystems that are totally different from each other. You have the same thing kind of on Twitter as well, because people don't see stuff that they don't interact with, right? The algorithm learns what you like and stuff like that. But on Reddit, it's like real little ecosystem. It's like actually divided like that. But it has its benefits. It has its downsides. But it's good. I like having the choice. Like I'm using Twitter, I'm using Reddit, and I enjoy like having the options.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about that because I actually came to Twitter from Reddit, and I used to have like a 14-year-old account, and then they just banned it out of nowhere and said, yeah, you violated the rules and didn't give me any way to appeal it or anything like that. Whereas I came to Twitter here and I don't know why the internet hates me, but they banned me here too, but I was at least able to get my account back. So I feel like Twitter's a little more forgiving than Reddit is. They just would not even respond. But on a side note, I posted a Reddit meme in the in the submission. So it's kind of funny that you guys are talking about this because I just happened to post it. So let's go.
Props to Mr. E too, Kaleo. He's been to every single one of your spaces lately, so it's fun to see him constantly showing up.
I appreciate you, people.
Also, new stonk holder.
Yes, I bought one. I love it. That thing is amazing, man. I just happened to find a really rare one that was priced near the floor. I was like, what? It's how is this possible? And then it happened to be the same week, on the chart. It's October 2021. It's the same week I launched my smart contract, October 24th. I was like, no way. And on the chart, it starts going up on that day. So I'm like, this is the one I got to get.
Yeah, hey, I'm a big fan of this Mario Nafal meme as a meme.
Yeah, I was about to comment on it. It's hilarious.
I saw that. It took me 2 seconds because at first I thought somebody was giving me shit for being a Mario Nafal whatever impersonator for hosting a space. Even though that dude, I'm telling you, I mean, it's actually kind of genius. His hustle is at the end of the day. He definitely bought a crap ton of listeners at a certain point. I mean, it's literally as part of his hype package for marketing and media. And it worked, man. It freaking worked. It got him to the point where I think a lot of his audience now is organic, and he just grifts from one topic that he doesn't know shit about to the next. And host these breaking news spaces, and the man knows how to freaking create an audience. I mean, as much of a grifter as he is, he's good at what he does.
Yeah, it's funny how he does it too, because he gets crazy volume, hey, 10,000 listeners, it's insane. I'm like, how the hell does he do this?
Well, dude, if you think about it too, the average, I looked this up because I was curious. I'm like, what the heck is this guy doing to drive some of his gate? And this is even before the FTX stuff. He actually had decent sized spaces. And, it's not that when you look at the return that you can potentially get from hosting a really riveting space as far as building your business and brand and being able to attract people to that, if that's his main deal, then the overall return on that, it's probably worth, the $25 that he's spending on the couple thousand listeners extra that he's paying to get there, to get things rolling.
Yeah,
One
that's
thing
actually
too,
interesting. Oh, sorry,
yeah,
go
one
on,
thing
PP.
too I'll say about his spaces is you see a lot of people basically using them to follow farm, because one of the things I found myself doing was like when he would have like these 8,000, 9,000 follower spaces, I'd be like, who the heck is listening to this? Because I don't have a problem. Like, I don't think he's like the greatest interviewer, but I don't have a problem with the content. It's just like, is it really worth like 8,000, 9,000 people listening? And so like a lot of people would see that number and they would just hop in and as a listener, turn their volume all the way down and follow farm. Especially if you have Twitter Blue, because you always show up at the top of like the list of bubbles if you have Twitter Blue. So I know that's a lot of people follow farm that way. But honestly, like if you want my opinion on gaining followers like in an organic way, hop on spaces that don't have that many, and hop on like lower spaces, because the people who are throwing them will like appreciate you being there way more than a 8,000 or 9,000 person space. And a lot of times the content's even better.
That's actually a really great point, man. Because like I feel like some of the best spaces I've been in were ones where it was just like 5, 10 people, but like you really got to connect with like everyone as a result of that. And then you see them in a
Yeah,
bigger space later on, right? And you're like, oh wow, like that's cool. I met you in this really small space, right?
yeah. It is funny how the market shifts too, because a couple months ago, Kaleo, I know you'll know, but like your NFT spaces, they were like what, like 80, 100 people, and now like it's funny to see them pop up because everyone's interested in JPEGs again.
Well, on that same topic, though, PP, you can even notice a difference just week by week, right? Like when everything was going insane a week ago, there were probably double or more on average of the listeners in one of these. And right now, when things have cooled off just a bit, and you get that like little bit of sideways, a little bit of down, you don't have nearly as much interest. But I'm telling you, it's the people that are still showing up whenever everything is not up only that I'm confident have the higher chance of actually making it and being successful, right? Because I've talked about this a million times. If you're only interested when shit's skyrocketing, you're going to be exit liquidity every time, right? If you want the opportunity to actually be profitable in this space, you have to buy when nobody else is interested and hold some type of conviction toward that.
Yeah, I always give the recommendation to follow people who are here during the downtimes too. Like, just because they're back during the bull doesn't mean they're the best follow. No, a lot of times if they have a lot of followers, they're normally dumping on their followers.
Yeah, I've heard you say that before, PP, and I think that's a really great point. It's like, like follow the people that are here now, like during the bear. Not the people that come back when it's easy, right? The people that stuck through when it was hard, right? So like that's why I respect each and every single person in this room right now.
Well, I do agree with PP. Huge red flag to most accounts that have like 500,000 followers or more. I would not trust a word that comes out of their mouth.
It's really funny that coincidentally, yesterday I was in a space and somebody else was also talking about how people go onto Mario's space to follow or farm. I won't call names out, but they were talking about how they talk about. Well, I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, he's doing the fake it till you make it thing, and you see it so much. There's this anecdote. I think FedEx, when it was starting out, they had like 2 delivery trucks. They numbered them. So the one truck they numbered truck number 1. The other truck they numbered truck number 76 or something like that. So that when people would see it, they would be like, "Oh shit, they have X many trucks. That's kind of impressive." But, total bullshit. It happens so much. I also know the Reddit founders, when Reddit was just starting, they would just make alt accounts, just dozens and dozens of accounts, and post shit just so that it would appear as if people were actually using it. And if you keep doing it long enough with a bit of luck, people will actually come to your space, your company, your platform, and you can actually pop off.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it's all about consistency, right? I think a perfect example of that are like, the Nifty Morning Show guys, for instance, with P.O. and Nick, where I think that they, by just doing it consistently every day over the course of the past year plus, they have built this loyal group of followers. It just becomes part of somebody's routine, right? When you have it, consistency as far as a routine and make it part of a schedule, I think that's where that consistency really starts to pay off. Or you could just be like me, shoot it from the hip, do it whenever, whatever, and like, hey, it works. Like they're decent amount of people that roll in. Like I enjoy the conversations, enjoy the space, but I do think that consistency and scheduling, there is some type of power with that as well. But it's really like that for anything, man. It's even your content, right? Like you're going to sit there and you're going to tweet into the void for the longest period of time, whether you're dropping like straight alpha or whether you're dropping the best memes. A lot of the time, like that's not going to get noticed immediately, right? It's all about consistency and engagement and really connecting with the people that are on here and branching outside of your echo bubble to be able to grow your brand. Eloch, what's going on?
I see Hedgewind down in the crowd. We should bring him up here.
Who's that?
Hedgewind.
I have no idea who Hedgewind is.
Hedgewind, get up here. He's like the meme master for penguins.
I'll hop down so you guys can bring some more people up here. But I appreciate you having me, and check out my meme. It's pretty funny, and have a great day.
Kaleo, you don't know who Hedgewind is?
No idea who Hedgewind is. I don't think. Maybe I'll recognize their PFP.
I'm inviting him up to speak right now. Hedgewind, you don't have to speak. Just come up here. He's the one who like always does like the computer voice speak, but it's always like he comes up with these scripts and puts them in. It's pretty incredible.
Well, I'll be the judge of that, PP. I will be the judge.
Hedgewind, don't be shy. Come up on stage.
Yeah, Edgewood, you can come up, not say a word, and then literally step down a second later. I can't even find you in the crowds. Just accept it real quick. Goody. Yes, sir. What's going on?
Yo, what's goody? Come tell a real one what's goody.
No, Goody, you're as rugged as I was earlier. Probably better, though, because at least yours is silent. And from the sounds of it, mine was incredibly choppy. But just figured I'd give you the heads up. Not sure if you got a call if the girlfriend rugged you, or if you're just playing into the meme of throwing the hand up for, the awkward silence that ensues from it. One way or the other, figured I'd give you the heads up.
I actually
Did anybody else hear that?
Yeah, I heard him. Kaleo.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah, I heard the intro music.
The whole stage heard me except
Goody, I got a favor to ask you then, because
I'll drop
Twitter
down.
Spaces sucks like this sometimes, and it picks one random person that you can't hear. Occasionally, it looks like you're that person today. If you could leave the space completely, then come back, I'll invite you back up. I want to hear that music again.
I can. I'll go.
I'm assuming you're talking right now, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, he confirmed.
Okay, perfect. Because I sat there in an awkward silence to give him time to reply to everybody else that could hear. But to me, it was just this awkward, silent, waiting, whatever. But okay, honestly, no idea who Edgewind is. This is my first time ever seeing him, so welcome up, Edgewind. You don't have to talk, but thank you for coming up on stage. You can if you'd like to. I'm not going to force anybody into anything, though.
So let me tell you, like, how he works. Like, if you ever see his hand go up and he's a speaker, stop everyone on stage who is talking and just let him tab it.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Hedgewind, give me a heart if you're able to do something like that right now. If not, I'll be sad.
Okay, we'll come back to him later. We'll give him a chance. It was kind of on the spot as far as coming up here in the first place. So I appreciate you having the courage to press the accept button and have people see your PFP. I know that can be very intimidating sometimes, especially when you change that gray text underneath your name from listener to speaker. There's an assumed obligation that comes along with that, and the crushing pressure of the crowd and the weight of really feeling like you're putting the entire space on your shoulders in that process can be intimidating. But I thank you for having the courage to do it either way. Fists up for Hedgewind right now. Everybody in the crowd, please throw a fist up just for bravery right now.
Beaks out for the boys. Beaks out for the boys.
Beaks out for the boys. Another powerful meme that
Dogs,
does hold.
tell Kaleo how Hedgewind got his penguin.
Yeah, Hedgewind he joined my like 4 ETH waiting room space back in the summer for the Pudgies, and he like comes in with his like talking software, and he's like, "Should I spend $20,000 on this penguin?" And I'm like making pizza rolls at like 3 in the morning. And I'm like, well, who's talking right now? Like, what the hell's going on? And then, like, literally a minute later, I just see the sales bot. This guy drops 20 grand on that tuft, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, who is this guy? And we don't know what his voice sounds like. We don't know anything about him. He's just a penguin with a puffer jacket and a cigarette in his mouth and a villain mask, and that's just who he is. So, absolute legend.
You know, what else do you need to be? Punter, you've got... I'm sorry, I got rugged by a call. What's going on?
I was like, oh shit, is he not gonna be able to hear me? And then I'll have to get kicked out like my boy Goody. But hey, what's up, everybody? Now I'm like all like amped up for this Hedgewind guy. Like, are we gonna like find out like what's going on? But just real quick, Kalei, I wanted to pop in. I love the title of the space, like the power of memes, because like the meme cards by 6529, those things are going ballistic. I've been watching I've always been a fan of like MFers, wrecked guys. I'm pretty big into the Pablos. I just feel like the memes are going to outpace the PFPs in this next run. And I'm glad like people are focusing the spotlight on that and making it like a topic of conversation because I'm bullish there.
I mean, hey, you can look at even, Punk 6529. What's his collection named? It's literally named the freaking memes. And bro, I don't know what's going on with that collection. I know there's some massive sales that happen, and then there's like, it's always up there on the top of the volume charts, but I never see the floor really moving with it. Like, I'm not sure whether there's like some wash trading going on or like he actually has that. Like, one way or the other, I mean, they're up there as far as relevancy.
Yeah, not to step on you, but it's kind of weird with the floor because I've been poking around in there a bit more. And like the way that OpenSea does the floor is based off the lowest common denominator, whatever the lowest floor of, because there's a bunch of different cards and each one has a different supply. So you'll have like the rarest one right now has a 23 ETH, is trading for like 23 fucking ETH, and then you've got ones that are trading for like 10 ETH, 3 ETH, half an ETH. And then, the reason you see 0.3 Kaleo is like that's probably like the lowest common denominator, and that's what OpenSea chooses to do. But there's a lot of bullishness and interest in that collection.
That makes a lot more sense. It's embarrassing that I haven't really checked it out more than I have. But I mean, point being, again, power of the memes shows the potential in this space. Goody, welcome back. Let's try round 2. Hit us with it.
Yo, what's goody? Come tell a real one, what's goody?
I just want to point out that's the power of being an influencer, folks, that we will all 100 or 200 of us will capitulate to one man not being able to hear the intro theme song. And I had to make all of you listen to it twice in one day, but that's okay. No, just while we're on the subject of the meme cards, like Punter said, it's an interesting collection because each one has a different different quantity, and so each one can be valued differently. So that floor price really is like for the lowest common one, but that's why floor price is such like a shitty metric to measure things by. Like in general, floor price is one of the things that fucking controls us, and I can go into a rant on that, but that's another time. But I just had a friend literally today, and I can pin the I'll try and find the tweet and pin it, but just had a friend actually trade a CryptoPunk for a whole set of meme cards from 6529, like literally just now. So it is something that people are bullish on, the power of memes. And like Punter said, like that whole CCO meme culture as well, because they just go viral, and they go viral on a non-NFT basis. It's not, even with NFT memes, all the SBF memes, for example, is like you didn't need to be in the NFT or crypto space to enjoy a bunch of memes about SBF, and people who were no idea what was going on at that time still knew what was going on, mostly because of the memes going around on like Facebook, Instagram, and all those other platforms. So the whole culture is just like very marketing friendly in and of itself. And it, leads to a lot of other people like kind of jumping on board without even knowing. They'll share that meme of a pudgy penguin or something like that without even knowing what the fuck the project is. But it's just like free marketing at that point, But if a buddy of mine is that bullish on 6529, the meme collection that he traded a fucking CryptoPunk just now. I'm gonna try and message him and get him in here to explain why.
Yeah, definitely get him in here, man. Would love to have that perspective too. Dude, that's freaking wild though. Like, I mean, I have seen that taken off, but again, it shows you, bro, how powerful it is. If somebody's trading a freaking CryptoPunk, which are, like right next to apes as the blue chip collection for a whole set of memes. And I get like, the influence of 6529 and everything that he's done too, but it's incredibly impressive, man. Like, like memes are what drive value in this freaking space. Speaking of that, K Money, welcome up to the stage, man. One of the king of the memes himself. If it weren't like, and I'm maybe, I'm sorry if that's offensive, but I would classify your videos as a category of meme art in and of themselves. I'm not sure if you would classify them as that, but definitely appreciate what you put out there with it. How's it going today?
Good, man. Good. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I would classify them as just a mental disorder. But we could just call it whatever we want. Dude, I'm glad to be on here and fucking love talking about memes and like this space. That's like one of the things that like really drove me here. Because like my background in crypto was like just the standard 2017 investing into safe things like these lending platforms with 3,000,000% APYs. And then I got back in it once like meme coins became a thing. And so after meme coins went down the fucking drain, shout to Vitalik, shout to Elon, shout to China. Then I found the NFT community and I was like, wow, this is just like meme coins, but instead of just being on Telegram, just spamming who the fuck is selling, we have Twitter and like just stupid JPEGs. So I really enjoy this.
Bro, I freaking love that backstory because it's so true, right? Like the safety of this space of just these 1,000,000% APY coins, like, it's something that a lot of people that are investing in those 1,000,000% APY coins that have seen them crash to nothing are too afraid to invest in the safety that are the memes of the NFT space that actually have held their value relatively well throughout this. And like, I won't lie, man, the memes are what attracted me to this in the first place. I mean, I'm not sure, K Money, I don't think you followed me throughout the summer, but pudgies are really what got me a little bit deeper into the rabbit hole of actually trading NFTs. Like, I had the Wonky Stonks project forever, but like actually trading it was waiting until shit kind of crashed. But I just saw so many freaking like cute flightless birds on the timeline that eventually was like, I can't fade this shit anymore, and I had to dive into it.
Yeah, like for me, like I'll be the first to admit, like I'm not a very smart human being. Like I'm not going to be the one that's going to like tell you, the technical analysis of things and the fundamentals. But one thing I do understand, just like have like being a comedian, is like I just understand culture and I understand like memes. So it's pretty easy to kind of trade NFTs, like especially like if you're looking at it based off of those things, because for instance, if you see like a certain meme starting to pop off and you're seeing like a lot of people like talk about it, then you could kind of like build like a narrative around that. It's like similar to like meme coins in the sense where I remember like that's where I had like most of my success was like with meme coins, because I would see Cum Rocket, just start going to the moon, and then I would then go look at like what other sexual tokens there were. So I would invest in the MILF ass, whatever, like pussy coin, and then I mean like they like a rising tide raises all memes. So it's pretty easy to kind of like trade through those like meme narratives of things. It's similar with like you saw pudgy penguins just start fucking going absolutely parabolic like the past like month or so, and then of course you see sappy seals, campai pandas, and like all the other cute kind of memey NFTs like doing well as well.
Well, bro, the funniest shit now that I'm thinking about it, where I really started to come across your account too, was when I would tune into those Goblin Town spaces. I'd see you up there, and I don't know, man, the Goblin Town spaces just evoked such a visceral reaction within my inner core where there was part of me that was laughing my ass off to the other part of me
hated them so much, but I think everybody else was in that same boat, and that's why they had such insane popularity. And you saw them freaking take off after that. Were you actually like, did you have some goblins at that point, or were you just up there supporting the memes?
Dude, I was just up there supporting the memes, because they were all doing like like their like bit in like Twitter Spaces where they all just make fucking goblin noises and like grunts about like burgers. So like I didn't want to just go up there like everyone else and like participate in that. I wanted to participate in my own way. So I was just playing the role of like a innocent bystander, just trying to fucking order a burger. And yeah, I just like had a lot of fun with it. Probably the worst trade I've ever made. I bought a goblin at like I think 8 ETH. I ended up selling it for like 2.8 ETH at 4 a.m. outside of their event while I was like really drunk, going on a Twitter tirade about them, and then ended up taking a piss on a McGoblin Burger visor in the middle of Times Square, which is apparently on sale on eBay for $2,500. So shout out to whoever picked that up.
Dude, that's insane. So I mean, you're telling me then you're a feet picks maxi now?
Bro, dude, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I got so many of those just because it's like, dude, like they're so fucking stupid. Where I was like, yo, it's literally like there's just always one dumb ass fucking like project that just absolutely moons for no reason and just does not deserve to like have the fucking valuation that it does. So yeah, I got some. Then I remember I saw you like posting like your charts, and I was like, dude, this is the echo chamber that I need to support like my terrible financial decisions. So shout out to you for just drawing lines on a chart to make me feel like I made a smart.
Don't say that. Don't say that. I don't want to be the influence that influences somebody toward that type of debauchery. Yeah, man. I mean, it is funny though, bro. I mean, that's why like when I saw the people, it was the same shit. Like I felt like I missed out on so many memes before that I had to like just get a few just for the culture, right? Because if shit's ramping up, then you never know what meme's going to take off. But whenever you see something that pisses you, and this is what clicked for me with those, why I did buy them, because PP came on a stage for a space of mine back whenever they were like 0.001, whatever. He had just minted them out, and they were saying, hey, Cleo, you need to check this out. I was so pissed at the idea that he brought up feet pics on the stage. I was like, no way, ever, any day will I touch these things. I don't give a shit if they run up to 5 ETH. For the sake of my dignity, the sake of my pride, the sake of who I identify myself as a man, I am not buying feet pics. I don't care if they're pixelated. I don't care what the hell they are. I went on this passionate rant, and like the next day I aped into like 20 feet pics.
So your reasoning for aping into them is the exact same reason. Like I bought like minted them and like bought like right after mint because I was like, all right, these are so bad that people are going to be talking about how bad they are and how dumb they are. And like one of the things that I've always done like every single cycle is like I've always faded dumb shit because I'm like, I don't want this. Like, why would I want it? And those are the things that always go to like friggin' 8 ETH, like goblins. Like I didn't want goblins because they're making goblin noises in the space. I was like, this is not creative. I hate these things. And then I just faded them all the way up. And so that's why like I wouldn't recommend buying feet now. I recommended buying them at like 0.001. I still hold a huge bag of them, but I'm not like, if you buy these things, like it's not a good financial decision, but like they're so dumb. Like people are going to continue to talk about those. So you need to think about stuff like that. Don't fade FUD. Like fading FUD's the worst thing you can do in a like culture that's like fueled by memes.
The craziest thing, like on that topic of not fading FUD, this would be so terrible, but I think that it's true. If SBF launched an NFT collection, I think it would just shoot to like double digit ETH. Like, I think people would be dumb enough that they would just feed him their ETH again willingly because they've seen what he's done on other things, and like somehow he could make it all back from just one NFT collection.
100%. Like we've seen this thing with something like the squid token, right? After it became obvious, like abundantly clear that you could not sell it. That it was literally like, the biggest scam a token could possibly be. People were still putting their money into that. People were still thinking it was going to pump. I 100% believe that SBF, yeah, it would pop off. But that seems to be the theme recently, right? With like famous people or like famous meme people launching meme collections. Like I just noticed the Hasbulla collection that apparently sold out in like 10 minutes. I never heard of it until just now. I saw it on the OpenSea trending page. I know the kid, like, I pinned it up top if you don't know the kid. Like he's a big meme. But yeah, first we had Trump, now we have him. I think this will become a theme. Like people will keep doing this and
Yeah.
they'll keep popping off
Dude,
probably.
I want to buy the Mr. Beast one. When a Mr. Beast comes, I feel like that might be the most obvious play of all time, dog. That's gonna get botted. That's just getting botted right now. Like, Russia is gonna be botting that shit to like win the Ukraine war or something. Like they're like that thing is gonna be like the most minted, like the fastest minted thing. It's probably already like minted out and it's not even out yet. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like you got to go with the hype and the memes and that dude. Like I don't know about Hasbulla. Like that dude is like. He's funny, but I don't think he can keep that going for like, longer than a week. But
Bro, there's zero way Hasbulla's collection maintains any value like 6 months from now, right? Like, like
Just that
that
statement
shit,
alone, Kaleo, makes me want to buy it.
that shit's trending to zero. I mean, I'm not mad about it. Like, go for it. It'll probably pump up a little bit right now, but like 6 months from now, you think Hasbulla gives a shit about trying to run an NFT project? Like I'm being serious here. Do you think that he gives a shit about continuing forward with that? I mean, if that's the case, let me go ape into some Milana Trump NFTs on Soul that I don't even think have minted out yet, right? Like, there are different metas that we can follow if we're going to follow that train of logic. But yeah, I mean, the Hasbulla kid, like, you look at it. It's one of the reasons why, I mean, a lot of people are so bearish on NFTs for that reason. They're like, oh, well, every single influencer, every single celebrity is going to drop a collection. It's going to go to zero, whatever. I kind of agree with that in a sense. But in the process, it onboards people to the idea of NFTs. And all you need is a fractional percentage of those people to stick around, to bring in more unique buyers, drive into the ecosystem, and really drive value to the quality that's actually there. We got Whatever Man back. Whatever Man, what's going on?
Yo, what is going on? I will provide an alternative perspective. Might be a hot take, but I will definitely provide an alternative perspective. So for the people that are saying, Hezbollah is going to do this and that, maybe you don't know that they've actually had this collection a year ago. It was on a different chain. And then now they're bringing it over to Ethereum. So
how did it do, though?
The first one?
Yeah, like how did the first collection do? I'm sure they had a collection. Like there've been, look at Floyd Mayweather and how many collections Floyd Mayweather had. Like, did they all do well?
Well, so technically speaking, if you look at the first one, it minted out whatnot. It has a decent floor, better than most of my projects. That's one thing. But
is this an ETH one or is this a Sol one? Like
this
for his
is
first one.
This is his first ETH one, but the Genesis was originally on Polygon, so now it's like come to ETH. But the thing I was gonna say is, honestly, NFTs are a bit of a weird thing because, like, everyone thinks that they know what's gonna happen based on the things that have happened in the past, and I don't think that's actually true because one of the things is the NFT space is so in beta, and I think we forget that. There's a lot of Yuga maxis, just like there were like Bitcoin maxis, but then as time progresses, there's new chains that come out. There's new blockchains that come out, new tokens and stuff like that. Technology evolves, and people evolve with that. So sometimes trials and errors lead you to do great things, right? So, in order to understand what I'm talking about, Twitter Spaces is a big fact, right? If we look around, There's a ton of people that have gathered a crazy amount of influence on Twitter, and now that they've got like so much clout in terms of like engagement and all that, they're taking that to do their Twitter Spaces shows now, because all of a sudden they have this engagement, and that doesn't mean that their previous engagement wasn't good, but it's just that they've evolved with that technology. So what I'm saying is, even when we talk about certain projects, and I'm not saying that I'm like a Hezbollah maxi or whatnot, like, but what I'm saying is try to zoom out a little bit, like so when we talk about the title NFTs and the powers of memes, technically this is a kid who has become an influencer, right? Before he even got into the NFT space, he was influencing sports and entertainment, because he took the world by storm in the UFC market. So most people that don't even know anything about NFTs know about Hezbollah, because they're like, oh, he's connected to the previous world champion in NFTs like Habib, and now Islam, who is also, and he grew up around these people because they're all from the same neighborhood and all that. So it's like, oh, like obviously he has that connection from like the UFC world. And then you have the meme culture aspect of it, and that's a complete different like genre, right? So you have a guy that has influence not only on culture, whether it's sports and entertainment, but also the meme culture. So I technically disagree with what you're saying. You're saying like, oh, this is going to zero, or it's not gonna. Where is this going to be 6 months from now? So um, I don't know. I like what makes us so bullish on some of these other founders and projects of NFTs that I have never heard of, right? Like, as an example, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm like fighting or anything, but what makes Luca so special, right? Like Pudgy Penguins, that's dope. I love the fact that they're so cute. They're memeable, but people, if they're backing Luca, like what is it that you're backing exactly? So,
Well, you're backing an entrepreneur that has a track record that like exceeds what any other founder in the entire space has like done.
yeah,
You're backing an entrepreneur that has generated over $100 million in revenue multiple years in a row versus like a celebrity that has people running a project for him. I'm not here
no,
to fight or
no,
anything. I'm bullish on Hasbullah. They actually made a one of me in it, so like that's pretty cool. But also, I just think the comparison of like Hasbullah and like Luca is like the
no, that's not.
craziest.
No. You're not reading between the lines properly. So what I'm saying is like, what I'm saying is the reason I dropped Luca's name is because we're quick to pick up on certain people and say, oh, this guy is going to lead us to glory. I would make the same. I would make the same argument for like, say, people that are like Yuga Maxis and stuff, and say, oh yeah, Garga is amazing and this and that, or Gordon Goner is amazing. Cool. So I completely understand for certain people that are movers and shakers of technology and innovation. But you got to remember, these things take time, right? So just
Bro,
Dog, how
hey,
many
bro,
Hezbollah
bro.
pictures do you
I'm
have?
gonna let Putter
You
go,
know,
and then I
You
want
have
to say
no,
like
something.
guys,
a
you're not
Hezbollah
even
supply?
reading between the lines of what I'm saying. All
comparison
I'm
is the thief of joy.
no, but I'm not
Can I
comparing.
just
Okay,
say as
okay.
well, like
Let
if
me.
you wanna,
I'm just gonna butt in real quick, and then everybody can get back in here. So my thought on it is this, man. It's like it's tough whenever you are driving a project and you don't have that audience in the space, right? Like for instance, even myself, right? Like whenever I started the Wonky Stonks, it was a free mint, whatever else. I thought it'd be easy to have just this immediate traction and this immediate success with the project because of my name and because of the audience, because of the fact that I had a very crypto native centered audience. And it was something that, hey, like I worked with it. Did that mean that it ended up propping itself up to glory immediately? No, right? Like, it was a long, hard, slow grind with it. And, I get Hasbullah's audience is like on a completely different scale, but I just look at it's they're bringing new people into the space primarily. I think the average person that is looking and incredibly interested in that mint
may not necessarily be this crypto-centric, crypto-native person. And I think it's a lot more difficult to have lasting traction with that. And it's not that it can't happen, right? But like the point being, I think that him pouring into that project has to be, he has to do it. And not saying that he can't do it. And I understand the punt that somebody can take on that, right? Like I understand the power of the meme of Hasbullah and, everything that he represents. And just like, he's got a lot of diehard fans with it, right? Like I'm not saying that it can't happen, but the average person that has a lot of that going for them has to do two things. They have to cultivate trust within the NFT space. They have to cultivate that. And I get he has that former project, but like again, looking at it, doesn't look like it completely flopped. Doesn't look like it did anything incredibly special either. So you just ask yourself, okay, if there wasn't even really this demand for that previous project, why would he even be launching another 10K collection outside of just, grabbing a little bit more cash toward it? And that's, like, I'm sure he's got some narrative that he's put out there to paint toward it, but I'm all about actions. Like, show me rather that you like prove that you can make the initial selection or the initial collection successful before you just dump and add more to the ecosystem. It just doesn't make as much sense to me. Again, doesn't mean that it can't be successful, but that's why I personally avoid that type of mint.
Yo, Kaleo, can I add to something? Just because it I'm not trying to refute anybody's argument. Like I said at the beginning of it, I just wanted to provide an alternative perspective. I do try to provide value instead of just like I'm not here to engagement farm or anything.
Yeah, but no, and I respect what you've got coming up to it. Like, definitely respect having another. I mean, hey, it makes for a more interesting conversation. So I definitely appreciate it.
And like I completely agree with what you're saying. I guess what the point that I was simply trying to make, and it doesn't do myself like I'm not doing myself any service here because I look like a maxi because I have a Hezbollah PFP. So please ignore that. Obviously, in this whole converse like discourse or whatever. But so okay, even the person behind the project, let's say it's the actual celebrity, right? I found out today that this guy actually declined DMs and and like promo videos with Drake and other people because the religion that he practices doesn't actually is technically forbidden to be in that kind of scene where like the music industry and all that stuff. So I think there's a certain set of values and ethics that he believes in because of his faith that allows him to do certain things in terms of like morals and ethics. Now, I understand it's a very, very, very touchy topic, especially when we're talking about, this world of finance where half the fucking people in here are, degens and gamblers. I understand that's a part of the equation, but that's also something that's technically not talked about a lot. Whereas
and I get that, whatever, man, but somebody can have a really good heart and they can have solid intentions even going into something. But I'm telling you, as far as like a track record of being able to work through adversity and continue to hustle on a project whenever that, and yes, I understand.
But
like he's experienced
Zagabond, if
adversity
we're
his
talking
whole
about
life,
a track record,
but like
Zagabond, you want to talk about Zagabond? Let's talk about that. Like, did he have a track record? Look where he is, right?
But
like,
bro, I'm just saying, like, name me one outside of crypto native influencer mint that has really had continued viral success within the space. Like, I'm struggling.
Bro, what
to
are you
think of
talking
one.
about, dude? Lana Rhodes is still building, okay?
The space is so new. That's all I'm trying to
think of
say.
one.
That's all I'm trying to say. The space is so new. I don't think it's easy for us to compare certain things because even if we
But if
talk
you don't
about
compare anything,
NFTs,
like, how do you have a foundation for? You've got to be able to take what information that you have at hand to be able. So, like, again, personally, with the momentum of what happened with that minute out in 5 minutes, whatever else, bro, I bet it does something like what Trump did. Probably has great initial success because everybody recognizes his name and goes into it. I'm not saying it's not going to have that. I'm just saying, like, I have a hard time. Like, it's tough. I want to see you work and like gain that traction, that lasting power. And if he's doing that, man, like, I'll be a buyer of the dip of that type of thing.
Hey, one thing I want to pipe in too, whatever. I just gave you a follow just because of your passion, but you did say like, I don't want to get into comparisons, and like one of the first things you did was compare Hasbullah to Luca Nets. So,
No, man, I did
hey,
it.
wait. Dude, I followed you. Give me like 2 seconds. And like honestly, like the first part of this space, we're talking about like how memes like transcend language and transcend. Like you don't really need to talk a lot about memes for them to work. And honestly, like you've spent the last 10 minutes explaining why Hasbulla memes are gonna do well. So just, I think honestly, I think they're a good meme. I think they're gonna do well just because Hasbulla has such a good following. But like I would pace yourself when talking about it. Like let the memes speak for themselves. That's my recommendation. But you did just get a follow.
But even that,
I,
like, well, I appreciate you following me, like, straight up. That's cool. But the other thing is like, just fuck. I don't want anyone to think like I'm trying to be aggressive or negative. That's really honestly not my intention. And like once again, like I'm not trying to be a maxi either. And I wasn't even here to talk about the fucking meme because the thing that they did allude to was something about incorporating like Hezbollah even in the UFC game. So like the whole fucking NFT space is talking about NFTs and gaming and all that. And
can I
there's
ask
Bro,
though, how many Hasbulla NFTs do you own, if you don't mind sharing? Like, I'm just curious at this point.
okay, transparently, like so that you understand how much of a non-maxi I am, and this doesn't really mean that I'm flooding my bags and I just like good discourse. I have two, and you can go check that on the
hey,
blockchain.
and
Well, you're not an expert. Why am I listening to you if you only have two, dude?
well,
I have more than you.
hey, bro. I
Exactly,
mean,
exactly. I'm here for
let me say
discourse.
something. Let me say something or whatever, man. Bro, here's what I respect about you right now, right? Like, it's obviously not the popular opinion on the stage, but what I always appreciate is being able to have a conversation with somebody, respect where they're coming from, respect the passion, get the different point of view. Bro, like, you're not buckling over. So many people come up and they want to be PC. They want to be able to buckle under the pressure. They're afraid to have that discourse. So I really do appreciate, like, I don't view you as coming up here and like shilling the shit out of Hasbulla. Like I realize that's not like your mission in talking about this. Like, I just think it's a really interesting conversation about approach as far as understanding the dynamic of what drives a project to be successful and what doesn't.
See, the thing is, like, you're absolutely right. And I think one of the points that I would like to drive home for everyone listening, myself included, is the space is just not mature for us to know for a fact what's going to do well, what's not, what's rug and what's not. Because if anything that I've learned in history is money buys resources. So if a project hits like I don't know $5,000 in volume, well, guess what? You have now a certain amount of liquidity where you could buy some of the top talent to make your project go from a fucking shit rug to an actual sustainable project. I'm not saying that this would become a sustainable project. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be so quick to say, oh, this is going to be a rug just because we know that how certain influencer projects become rugs. So the main point that I was trying to make is that unlike other uh, influencer projects, they mainly focus on culture because that's what influencers are able to tap into culture, or sometimes very rarely influencers are able to tap into memes, right? They're two separate technical genres, whereas now you have this let's call him like an internet sensation, right? This person is able to tap into culture. And if we're talking about culture, that's why I said sports and entertainment as one of those cultures, right? And at the same time, there's this whole concept of memes that have been floating around in the last 2 years, and he's already been tapped into that. I guarantee there are certain people, even in this space, that only know this guy from the fact that they've seen gifs of him. They probably don't know anything more than that. And there's other people that don't know about the gift side and just being like, oh shit, I saw him at the last UFC fight. So K Money, what's up, bro?
I was just gonna because you're talking about how like whenever like people have a lot of money, they have like a lot of resources and they could become successful. And I was just gonna point out the fact that I'm pretty sure Pixel Vault had a $1 billion evaluation, and I don't think they're doing too good. I'm not saying I'm just here to like just play devil's advocate. I have no fucking meme in this race. I just want to like just remember like clip the part where you were comparing Hasbulla to Luca, just for future reference.
No, I never did. Because even if you go back, this is a recorded space, by the way. So even if you go back and listen to it, listen to the words that I actually spat. I never said that. Oh, that's the actual comparison that I'm making. I specifically said with the premise that, hey, if we talk about meme culture and we look at the cute pudgy penguins and then we look at the founder, why are we so bullish on that founder? And then you talked about track record, and I said,
Well,
yeah, that track record. One of the things that track record does, there's no
bro,
track
to
fucking
be
record
fair
without
though,
time.
inherently when you bring up another person like that after talking about another person being a founder, you say what makes that founder more successful. It does sound like a comparison. I mean, I think it is a comparison
No.
objectively.
I'm just trying to illustrate.
But I get that may have not been your point with it. But anyway, it's interesting shit, man. Again, like my challenge for anybody on this stage, though, I would love somebody to find one outside non-crypto native influencer project that is just absolutely crushing it right now and like has a solid track record over a sustainable period of time that's been able to maintain that. Because I want to learn something new and I want to be able to, I am all about expanding my horizons with that type of stuff, challenging my thought process and being able to have that in my back pocket for the next time there is a conversation like this. Because it's interesting shit, man. Like it really is looking at it because these conversations that we're having right now are going to become so much more of a topic as the NFT space starts to pick back up, right? Like, right now you don't see nearly as many of these as you did because the space isn't as viral as what it was, but it's going to get way more viral than it ever was. So these are going to be popping up left and right down the road. And, they are something we should pay attention to and learn something from. Goody, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that question, are you going to completely just discount Gary Vee, or does he count as a non-crypto native initially? Because he's got three different ecosystems fully, and like the VFriends 1, pretty high floor still. VF2 is back on the rise, and he's a lot more active to begin this year again.
I would discount Gary Vee, and the only reason why is because Gary Vee plugged in and I felt like he just made a full pivot to where that's all that he does. And he did it early though too. He came in with the NFT space, right? Like when I think of the NFT space and everything coming up, it's not like Gary waited for everything to really evolve and then started to get plugged in. Like I feel like Gary was part of the evolution of the mainstream hype narrative of NFTs in general.
I can buy that. You're saying he got into early enough that he is technically considered crypto native in this space. Sorry, JD, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I would definitely consider him NFT native myself. I mean, if anybody else on stage wants to challenge that, feel free. That doesn't mean it's a rule of thumb, but whenever I saw everything popping up and whenever I think of the timeline of how things came up, Gary Vee was, he was a huge part of it.
How about Beeple? Does he count? I'm not.
Bro, I don't even like to talk about people. He's too weird, man. Like that shit. I had to mute people. I didn't block him because it's not that I don't like the guy, but his shit is just it's weird, bro. I don't know. I don't know much about people's background though.
As far as I know, he just did digital art, and he got very early into NFTs, and he brought it to the mainstream, I guess. Like his art sold for insane amounts with NFTs.
Well, I mean, if you look at it though, again, talking about the power of memes, I feel like that's what the majority of Beeple's, they're just graphic art memes that he produces daily, right? Again, if nothing else, it shows the power of memes and consistency because, that's my thing with anybody entering. I mean, obviously, I guess you could look at, I think the best example of success from quote unquote outside influencers in this space might be some of the photographers and stuff that have a large brand and a large presence, maybe on Instagram or something like that. Some of the Sony Alpha ambassadors that have, crushed it on Super Rare. I can think of a few of those, right? But I feel like there is something that even when a lot of them came into the space, it wasn't this immediate success. It was, hey, they decided they're going, diving head first into this, and they're taking it seriously. And I think that's like the type of shit that I'm looking for as far as, I don't know, anybody entering it. Like, put your money where your mouth is, your time where your mouth is.
Kaleo, full disclosure, I have 5 of these, but you see these checks that launched from Jack Butcher, who I kind of know more from like as an agency guy and like an art director type, not necessarily a crypto native guy, but it was a free mint. It's like a gamified thing, and they've kind of pumped. And I, just to answer your question, like, have you seen anybody come in lately that wasn't like crypto native? I don't think he would categorize as that, and that's sort of what intrigues me about the project. Full disclosure, I do have a bag, but check out those checks, man.
All right, that's a good example. So, what do you think it is about Jack's collection that has made it successful, made it continue, to have the hype and have the success that it has? Because you're right, like, I'm looking at it, and I have seen it for, a couple weeks now, and it really hasn't, like, I guess maybe a little dip here, a little dip there, but each one feels like it keeps running. What do you think is the thing that differentiates it from a lot of other attempts?
Yeah, no. So like, it was free mint, right? And like 16,000 of them were minted. And, people are always going to be skeptical about a free mint, right? And then it goes 0.01 to 0.08. It's had its pumps and pullbacks. Like you said, it's actually traded quite technically. As a chart guy, you would probably appreciate that it's hit a resistance. It's come back and tested it for support, and so on and so forth. But for me, I really like the gamified aspect of it. And he's trying to do it as an art project, right? So it's like you burn X amount. You're trying to get, from what I understand, you're trying to get to the single black check. So you're going to have to buy a bunch of these, play a game, burn them to try to arrive at something that's rare. And I think that sort of mechanic has just captivated people's attention, and they're willing to throw money at it. Plus we're a bunch of fucking degenerates, right?
Well, like Punter said, to add to that, is like rarity is determined by like your combination, like evolution of them, basically. Like you combine them to evolve it into like a more rare check version, and burn multiple. So the supply shock that people think is going to happen as things get burned and more rare checks come out, and so some of these checks have sold for decent amounts because people like the rarity aspect of it.
And there's lower serials, Goody, to that point. Yeah, like people are buying 420 or 69 or 1 because they feel like as you burn them down, that people will keep the lower serials. I got to hop, Kaleo, but thanks as always for having me on the stage.
Appreciate you
Appreciate it, brother.
Crypto
man.
Jesus, we got a new person on stage. Not new to the spaces completely, but new as far as today. Welcome up. What do you have, man?
What up? Thanks for having me here. It's good to see everyone. But I was just thinking about Damien Hirst. He had an extremely successful NFT collection. It's still trading pretty high. The floor right now is 3.64. He let people do physical claims, and then all the ones that weren't claimed, he burned the physicals for it. And he's not a very much NFT crypto native person, obviously. And yeah, the majority of the value there is because it's a fine art piece and it's Damien Hirst. But the credit could probably be mainly attributed to the people he collabed with. I forget the name of the company, but it was really cool, the website they had set up. You could see like splatter patterns, the diameter of different dots, the different shades of paint and patterns, and like uniqueness behind naming schemes.
Would it be fair? One of the trends I'm noticing here, and like, is a lot of the people that are being listed as kind of outside crypto, pouring into the crypto side of it. I'm not hearing any PFP projects, right? Like I'm hearing mainly some form of just like pure art driven initiatives. So it seems like there's an appetite for the pure art side of things, but I am curious, can anybody think, and obviously I'm definitely all ears for this, because even you guys bringing up all these like pure art artists, like hey, you proved my initial point. I don't want to, you proved my initial point wrong, where there are a lot of people that are quote unquote outsiders that have come along, had success with it. But I am curious, are there any successful kind of outside whatever that have come in with a PFP project that have done well?
Yo, Kaleo, can I kind of try and answer that? So okay, if I know that you're big in crypto, so this might actually resonate with you a little bit. So you know how crypto is obviously moves in cycles, right? Not everything pumps at the same time. There's like you have your maxi coins, then you have your altcoins, your shit coins, all that stuff. And there's different types of coins, different kind of genres. There's different types of tokens that are trying to establish different type of things. Whatever utility it is, some of them are based on security, some of them are based on commerce, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's one of the things where, we were talking about track record earlier, and I think there's time, and the concept of time is a big part of this process. We, as an NFT community, we just haven't matured yet, and that's the thing. We're missing that time element that, say, cryptocurrencies have actually had. Because if you look at cryptocurrencies as an example, how many bull and bear runs have they had, right? How many cycles have they had? They've had ups and downs, like since I believe 2010. It's been happening. Whereas how many cycles do you count? This whole NFT system to actually have had. So I think right now there's just not there's a lot of different genres, and they all have certain projects. I can't name because like I'm not in front of my laptop, but there are there's certain projects that
But
are at
are
the
there?
top of their game, and they're in their respective genres. If that makes any sense.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
I
What
know
the
of
hell are we
one.
talking about right now? Like, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, real quick.
There's one outsider. Oh, go ahead.
No, this is not. I didn't. I want to like sidetrack the conversation, but I just found it funny that SBF just retweeted Kaleo about tweeting about
Dude,
the
like,
open.
do
I
I
think
need to
it's
go
so
delete
meta.
that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I almost feel like I
I don't
do.
know. I feel like I don't
Yeah.
want that dude retweeting me. You're just gonna get hate, even though it's like a completely normal tweet.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
gonna
let
go
us see
back.
it first. Let's see it first.
Pin it up
I mean,
top.
but hey, maybe I add commentary on it. I'm not a big fan of just deleting stuff, but like I do kind of agree with that. Like I know it's completely sidetracked, but like it really probably is the best way of them extracting more value to be able to give back to the customers, to be able to restart the exchange, right? Like, because that's their most valuable product they have left is the exchange. I'm not telling anybody to go out and use it, but like, I'm saying as far as, one, it's a revenue generator. Two, the actual software, everything else behind it, like, there's got to be value to that. It had success, it had appeal, people liked using it. So, different management, different whatever else that are running it, like, I'm not saying they'd have immediate success, but I'm sure, be able to extract a little bit more value than literally just sitting on it. So, if nothing else, the announcement itself, you can see pumped the worthless shit coins, and it inflates the value of the shit coins that they have on their balance sheet now that they can go back and dump into the pumps.
So I know the title of the space is NFTs and the power of memes, and I just want to point out a quote from whatever. Man, the space just isn't taking itself seriously yet with his Hasbulla profile picture. That was a great quote about a space that's not serious at all.
I honestly, I don't even think I said that. I'm pretty sure that I said the space hasn't matured yet, but I mean, it's recorded. You can go back and listen to it. If I did say that, then definitely my apologies. Because if I did say that, that's a brilliant strategic move on my part. Because that looks like a total fucking meme, and I hope I get like 10K followers.
It was either that or what you just said. I was like, man, like it was cracking me up though.
Dude,
Yo,
It's like,
either way, this is the funny thing about Web3. Either way, like if you come on spaces and you say some bullshit that people think like, yo, you're a fucking idiot, all of a sudden you realize, yo, 200 people
dude,
followed me
I heard
because
a
they think I'm
thousand
fucking.
people say like that dude's name wrong, 3Lau last week. So I know, dog. Trust me.
oh yeah.
Yo, 3Lau was the funniest shit in the world, and I went on. I don't know if it was on this stage or with some other stage. I can't remember. And I've specifically called that person out because I was like, yo, this is really, really funny. I've never heard it before. They do that to me all the time. And I'm like, why can't you read that it's spelling out whatever, man? Like they could do it when, they're reading out license plates on cars and shit, but it is what it is. Different strokes for different
Dude, what's
folks.
what's
But
Hedgewin up to? Hedgewin, you get stoned and forget about like the typing up whatever you're typing up, man. What's going on?
Dude, I removed him from the speakers because we were out of space on the speakers, and I did not see any hope for progress. So I
Yeah,
had to
yeah, he DM'd
I had to make the
before. Yeah, he
sacrifice.
said like give me 10 minutes just in case. But I don't know. I just kind of lost track of time too. But Hedge, I don't know what you're up to, bro.
I'm not
Drugged
sure
it.
if Snoop Dogg did like a profile picture collection. Maybe I missed it, but I think Snoop Dogg is like literally the only real outsider who went into like Web3 NFTs, and he's stuck around. He's doing this DAO thing. He's doing multiple projects. He's advising on other projects. Like he's the one person I can think of who had nothing to do with NFTs before and went in and he stayed in. And not everything is like pumping and insane and stuff, but he's building, which is, more than I think any other influencer who went in can say.
I think his son takes a lot of the initiative around that because he's mentioned a few times like, oh, my son got me into Web3. He's at every single event he's at. He produces a lot of content. He's always doing spaces and podcasts and shit like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of carries the account on his behalf because I'm sure Snoop is plenty busy managing all the contracts that he has, making him a shit ton more money in Web2 normie deals.
I'm like,
It's so good.
I'm
I'm just
generally
going to say it's a
bearish.
family business, even better.
Rugged.
I'm generally bearish on um, people
What's up,
coming into
agents?
Web3.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Some good conversation going on. I just wanted to congratulate Kaleo on the SBF retweet. Dude, persistence pays off. To have someone so noble vouching for the words that you write on this platform, I'm telling you, dude, your profile is going to blow up. You're going to be an influencer one day. Just keep grinding at it and keep putting out that good content, bro. People will figure out who you are one day.
Dude, I don't know what to do here. Like again, I feel like I need to either delete or add more context there, but I'm not
I
proud of it.
reply to it saying buy Wonky Stonks, so when people click on it,
Yeah,
leads them.
feel like the best chance that anyone has who got rugged on FTX to make their money back is on one.
So one thing, dude, I'll point this out. Agents is like he changed his name from actually agents to agents with the penguin. If you're gonna be on Spaces a lot, I found this out the hard way, but shorten your name as much as you can because it like you get the dot 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 if you don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, my name is just Agents. It just gave me the ... as a sign of respect. So it's nice to know that Elon's cleaning this place up. It's like the ...
Because
read more, click my profile, figure out what I'm
like
about.
I love Funky Dunk, but right now he's Funky D to me.
Hey,
I'm fine with that. I'll take it. I'll take Funky D. Why not? That sounds like a fun name on its own.
I'm gonna give you a good gift, PP. So everybody, PP McGee's at 14.9 thousand followers. He's too humble to ask for himself. He just does it passive aggressively. But follow PP McGee. Let's get him over 15,000 tonight. That's what I'm doing for you, PP. And Kaleo, keep grinding, bro. You'll get to 15K one day. A couple more SBF retweets and you're golden, bro.
Dude.
He'll get the 15K from like where he is right now from some more from the other from. I can't even talk. It's funny.
Shadow band speed run any percent glitchless.
Edwin said he's coming eventually. He'd have to walk his dog.
So I'm looking through here. I'm looking through the memes right now. I feel like it's coming up on time. I do think JD's he shared his own though. That's the only thing. Like, but I'm a fan of JD's. Is one of the ones up there. But let's see what else. Name me some others. I need at least two more to go in the running here.
So I've been chilling in Meat Universe all day. Is Hasbullah running? It's
Bro,
actually
you
doing
just
well.
It's
missed the
pumping.
conversation. Let's
You
not go
just
back to that.
open up a
The
can of
Well,
space is
I'm
not
reading
ready
through the
for
pin.
Hezbollah.
Don't pin the tweets if you don't want people to read them, guys. Like, this is Spaces 101, Kaleo. This is why you have 0 following, bro.
No, I pinned that before we started talking about it because I noticed it, and then a lot happened, and now we don't want to go back to it.
Oh, all right. We're bearish on Hasbullah.
We've moved on. But I don't know. So I've got that one up there. Give me a couple others, and then I'm gonna have people vote on this shit. You know what? I might even make an executive decision. That might be better.
I'm like the dude who walks in while you're watching a TV show and you're like 45 minutes into it, and I'm like, what did I miss? What are we voting on?
We're voting on a meme contest winner. So I had a bunch of people submit some memes heading into this, and I wanted to pick the funniest meme, and honestly, none of them are really making me laugh.
What's the theme?
There was no theme. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's because I did not give a theme that all of these suck.
Are you what's the grand prize? A Wonky Stonk here?
It is.
All right. So everybody, here's your theme on the meme contest. Do something about SPF, and the winner gets to floor a Wonky Stonk. There you go. We'll give them something to work with.
I'm just gonna steal something from Reddit.
Literally none of the posts are SPF.
What's up, Gentle?
I don't even want to give something to anybody right now. These are all terrible.
Yeah, they're really.
No, mine is pretty good. I made that. People liked it. They were like, haha, yeah, losing money.
Lazy.
I'm going to fill this. Where do we submit? In the purple button on the bottom right, right?
That can work too. And then I just need people to pin it up here. I don't know, man. I'm just a little bit disappointed. I'm
about to dig deep into
Bro, just send it to Megaton.
He's bearish on our memes, guys. He's bearish on our memes.
Yeah, what a failure of a space.
I'm about to just scroll through, and whatever meme that it lands on, I'm going to just give it to.
No, I submitted a meme, Kaleo. Judge me. It's about Fonky Donk, too, actually. He's seen it before. Sorry, Fonky.
Yeah,
that
happened to me. That happened to me with the Bebo.
I have to see
that
it.
happened
I have
to me
to take a look at it.
Okay, I found one I like. I might go with this. I think it's kind of funny, kind of resonates a little bit. Let's see, what else are we working with?
My man's out here rigging meme contests, and he wonders why SPF is retweeting him.
This is a meme dictatorship.
Dude, you know what? I'm just going to go with that one because it made me laugh the most. Okay, so Jacita wins. Doja Cat. Congratulations, Jacita. Gentle Tornado, welcome up to the stage.
Yo, what's up, baby? Oh my God, let's go! I don't even know. I just had to come up here, fucking show love, absolute fucking goats on this stage. And then I'm not gonna lie, dude. I came up here to shoot my shot, Kaleo, because I'm sure you have 100,000, 500,000 DMs. You know what I mean? So win GT Kaleo podcast. You know what I mean? That's it.
Oh, dude, it needs to happen. I apologize. I got to get on that, and I got to make it happen. So soon, maybe. I think I might be able to next week. So I can probably set something up with you.
I want to do what agents did for me for NATO. NATO's at 10.9 thousand followers. Let's get him to that 11K right here on this space right now.
Well, can you do that for me? I'm at 554,900, and 555,000 would be badass. I actually really want 555.5, but I will accept 500.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to, Kaleo. For you guys who don't know Kaleo, he hosts his space every now and then. we like him. He's an okay guy. He's been in the space for a little bit, but he's got 554,000.9 followers. If you don't follow him, I would suggest following him. He posts a lot of pictures of stonks and penguins, and he's a good guy, good Christian man.
Well, appreciate that. Hey, actually, quick aside is if anybody's not talking and you could step down, let me know. Never mind. I was going to bring up Jacita, but she already decided she gave up on her shot. She shot her shot and she stepped away from it. Oh no, she requested again. So yeah, if anybody that is
I'll
not
head down.
speaking wants
Thank you, Kaleo.
down. Okay, appreciate it, man. Okay, I want to hear Jacita's reaction to winning this stonk. I think it's her second stonk she's ever won, though. I just thought about it. I didn't recognize her at first, so I'm like, yeah. I'm like fairly positive that she won one like a year ago. Jacita, what's going on? Yes.
I can't hear
Yeah,
anything, so
what's up?
I've just been vibing in this whole space. But thank you
Wait,
so much. Are you
could you not
kidding
hear
me?
anything?
What the
Wait,
hell?
quickly.
Thank you. This is the second one I've won.
Let's
I fucking love
go,
the songs. I can't hear
Jacita!
anything.
Let's go!
But thank you for the emojis. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this has inspired me to write another wonky poem. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
Woo! Okay, well, thank you, Jacita. That sucks that you cannot hear this. We're hyping you up right now. We're hyping you up like like a deaf person on stage with just putting all the positive energy out there.
I have a
Everyone
question.
just do the wow. Everyone do the crying emoji. Do the crying emoji.
Yo, did you just say
Everybody
deaf
do the crying emoji.
person? I'm done.
It's messed up because they took away the closed captioning recently, so like
Did
it's
they really?
actually not accessible for
Oh, it's
deaf
horrible.
people anymore.
Ah, man, that's tough. But it probably honestly saved them a lot of money. Like, I'm sure it's not cheap to be able to
This is a
process the
meme.
text on all of that.
I actually have a question for Gentle Tornado. You're a family guy like myself, right? Do you ever hop on these spaces when you're around your family? And what does your wife think when you're screaming at your top of your lungs?
Yeah, appreciate the kind words, PP. I'm a dad and a husband at heart, and yeah, it's not good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I say fuck a lot, and it's definitely not healthy to say that around my 4 and 2-year-old because they say it right back. And then I get the look from my wife, and then I quickly get off spaces. So normally, I'll tell you this is actually funny. I need to have someone secretly hidden in my house to follow me around when I go on stage and get ready to scream, especially on Thread Guy's space. Because I literally I'll go into my backyard, I'll go on the side of the house, or I'll go in the garage to get away from her because it's just the death stare that she gives me is just something that I just can't deal with. So most of the time it's me going in my backyard and my neighbors absolutely probably hate me. But you know what? We're fucking riding out here, so that's it. They don't know, but it's okay. We're riding.
Well, I love you, and anytime you hop on a space, it just brings me joy because I'm getting ready for the screams.
Let's go. The other day I had a guy, this guy Riggs, he was telling me that he was with his wife and it was on speaker. He didn't have his earpiece in, and I went crazy. And she was like, "Oh, well, you could keep coming on spaces, honey, because you're not like that guy." So I was like, let's go, man. We got some street cred out here.
Wait, have you ever considered that some people don't like your screaming? Some people probably have their AirPods.
Oh gosh, here we go with this guy again.
I
would rather hear Gentle.
I don't understand. People like the screaming.
Have you ever watched Saturday Night Live and that Debbie Downer skit?
Are you being serious here, or is this sarcasm? I can't tell. I don't like it though.
Oh no, it's not. It's not sarcasm at all. Why would it be sarcasm? I'm saying
I removed him from speakers. I'm sorry if I overplayed my co-hosting boundaries, but I'm just tired of that guy.
It's whatever, man.
I personally liked the energy after that pitiful meme contest. So
sorry about that, Kaleo.
And such a lackluster announcement and non-transparent choosing of the winner. I mean, I really have questions about the entire structure moving forward, Kaleo.
I just invited him back up to speak, whatever, because I feel horrible about that. It was sort of like a gag, so please come up.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, like when it's a dictatorship, the dictator decides the rules, and like it just happened. So,
Oh man, he left the
Hey,
space.
I'm a keep entering the contest, Kaleo. One day I'll win one.
He left the space, and now I feel horrible.
you got to DM him now. You got to go simp.
Yeah, I'm about to.
I'm
Yeah,
going
you
to be
made it
honest
under
though,
me,
PP.
PP.
I felt like it was pretty warranted. I actually have never heard anybody say that. So,
Well, to be fair, I think that he was trying to be sarcastic. He just wasn't saying it very well. Like when I heard him re-emphasize the points, I could tell he was trying to be sarcastic. It was just, like sometimes sarcasm doesn't carry over very well.
Terrible execution.
I think maybe he was trying to backseat drive this space. I mean, yikes, dude.
He's got to
Wow,
take a
Yikes,
lesson
that
bro.
from
coffee
Amazon,
Boston
bro.
throwback, dude.
Yikes. Yikes.
He scared away K Money.
Kaleo, you know who he's talking about, right?
No, I mean, it is what it is, man. Goody, what you got, man?
I just wanted to, I'd be remiss in this whole conversation if we were talking about like non-NFT native people and I didn't mention like the fucking PFP I'm wearing, Atom Bomb Squad and Bobby Hundreds. That's one that's not, he's got a 25K piece collection. It's not like a floor price in the tank and it's non-NFT native person. But not many people run around with these little like bowling balls with hair pieces like I do.
Yeah, dude. I honestly like. I feel like I haven't heard a lot about Atom Bomb Squad in a while. I felt like back in the day they were pretty big, and then just I don't know. Like it's one of those things. It might be because as the space has grown, it just gets more difficult. Your echo chambers grow larger, and then your sphere of influence for those grow larger. And if there's not a lot of crossover, it just becomes difficult for that type of content to appear on the timeline. But I think it's one of the important things to consider about this space in general is just that all because something doesn't cross paths with your echo bubble doesn't mean that it doesn't have like some solid community outside of that, right? And the other thing that I forget about a lot too, that I think is more prominent in the NFT space than it is with, just crypto space in general, are that there are a lot of other social media platforms that some of these other projects are more prominent on that aren't really hyped up as much on Twitter. And, I think that's another thing to take into consideration, even though I think Twitter still dominates the overall influence, there are other spheres of influence that you can sometimes forget about.
I wonder if Clubhouse is still a thing. Like they never migrated over to Twitter.
Dude, I think there are a few of them.
Bitcoiners.
I don't think that it's anything with like what it was.
No, yeah.
Isn't that where the Bitcoiners hang out? Because like they're kind of like boomers.
No, sometimes the Bitcoin maxis come into Twitter Spaces, and then it gets really fun to argue with them about like why ETH NFTs are like an existing thing, or why Bitcoin isn't the end all be all of everything. Like they've come in with some heat sometimes, but they're not very Twitter Space like friendly.
Yo, hey guys, I apologize having to do this so abruptly, but I did realize the time got away from me. I do unfortunately have to cut off the space. But, be on the lookout. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do another one tonight. Tomorrow, for sure, we'll be back at it. So make sure to be on the lookout for that. Appreciate everybody that came up on stage. And until next time, I'll take it easy.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
You need an outro, Kaleo.
You
need an outro song.